On day 1, I spawned in as a baby ghost. Ooh, spooky. Not as spooky as knowing I only have 4 hearts. Oh man, wait, I'm a ghost. Why do I even have hearts? Whatever. But where are all the other ghosts? No ghost mom or ghost dad around? Since no one was around, I started checking out my new powers as a ghost. I could levitate really high and go through blocks. Wow, I passed right through that. I decided that if I was to get on in the world, I'm gonna need to find some ghost friends. The only problem was, I didn't know where any of them were. Going a bit further, I found a graveyard where a gravedigger was digging. Excuse me, have you seen any ghosts around here? Just as I said that, he ran away screaming. Gee, what was that all about? I'm just a ghost. Pretty soon, the gravedigger returned with other villagers wielding torches and pitchforks. Uh-oh, time to go! The villagers chased me deeper into the forest, where I managed to stay hidden for the rest of the night. On day 2, I started journeying through the forest. This is gonna be hard without any gear. I gotta start crafting. I chopped down some wood and found a small cave system. In one of the small caves, I gathered up stone materials that I ended up crafting into an axe, a pickaxe, and a sword. I still haven't found any ghosts yet, but I'm sure they'll show up pretty soon. As I was gathering out materials, I could hear a raven, and I ran out only to see it stuck in what looked like a cage. Oh no, don't worry, little raven, I'll help you. After I set her free, I asked her if she had seen any ghosts around. The raven said she had not seen ghosts in the area for a while, but mentioned there was an abandoned castle not far from here that might have a few ghosts. Perfect! A ghost in a haunted castle. How original. She also told me how thankful she was that I had saved her and hoped to repay the favor one day. Just after we parted, the villagers started attacking again. Ah, not these guys! The raven already flew off, but luckily for me, this time I had weapons. Ha! Take that! After the villagers were gone, I went deeper into the forest and continued to gather materials before going to find the castle. On day 3, I finally managed to find the castle the raven had told me about. What a score! Maybe there are some ghosts in here. I checked through all the corridors and halls to see if I could find anyone. Hello, is anyone haunting here? Checking behind one of the old walls, I found a suit of armor, an iron sword, and some iron ingots. Alright, now I can really do a ghost battle. I felt a surge of energy and my hearts were doubled. Alright. Just then, a horde of bats flew in and started swarming me. Hey, back off! I just got this armor! It was a good thing too, because I was able to fight most of them off and the rest flew off into the night. Even though I didn't find any ghosts, I decided to make the castle my base. I got to work cleaning up the cobwebs and furnituring up the place. When I was done making the place more lively, I went down a secret passageway I noticed that led downward. Maybe there are some ghosts down there. It would be fitting. On days 4 to 5, I journeyed into the passageway to find a hidden dungeon. Aw, cool, I have a dungeon. Then I heard screaming coming from one of the halls. I followed it to find a ghost being picked upon by witches. Hey, that's not nice. You leave that ghost alone. I attacked them and made swift work of them. That's right, and stay out. I went back to check on the ghost I saved and made sure he was okay.
Thank you for that. If you had not come, those witches would have surely taken me to the end.
No problem. Why did those witches want to take you anyways?
They are the servants of the Grim Reaper, the ruler of the end, who enslaves ghosts and spirits.
How terrible. Well, we're safe now. What's your name?
Oh, sorry. Where are my manners? My name is Gordon, and I am an organist.
An organist? Wow, that's fascinating.
Thank you. Unfortunately, I lost all my organs a while back.
Oh, really? How far back?
As long as I've been a ghost.
Clever.
Thank you.
On days 6 to 8, Gordon and I got to work building back up the exterior of the castle. I made us some stronger pickaxes, and we quickly got to work gathering stone for the castle. Man, if we work any harder, we could work ourselves to death.
Zozo, we're already dead.
Oh yeah, that's right. We could hear a howl in the distance. Stay here, Gordon. I'll be back. I ran after the sound of the howl to see it was the villagers running after a wolf. Poor little guy, I gotta do something. Quickly, I got into action and started to attack the villagers. Pick on someone your own size, or species, or being, whatever, go away! My attack did the trick, and soon they were disposed of. I turned back to check on the wolf, only to see a person standing there. Wait a moment, where's the wolf?
I am the wolf. Sort of. I'm a werewolf. My name is Kane. I turn into a wolf on occasions.
Should I be worried about that?
It's not like what you would think. It only happens when I get very emotional. I am normally very calm.
Well, if you'd like, you can stay with me at my castle.
I'd appreciate that very much. Thank you. Wait, you have a castle?
Yeah, I am a ghost after all. On days 9 through 10, Gordon, Kane, and I made our way back and started working on the castle, furnituring up the upper floor. This looks great, guys. Good job.
Yes, the extra set of hands has really been helpful, even if he has fleas.
I heard that, music lover.
Just as we finished, we were attacked by goblins. Sure enough, they started pelting us with orange pumpkin bombs using their trebuchets, damaging everything we have been working at. Why are you doing this to us? We just want to live in peace.
A message from the Grim Reaper. No ghost or spirit is safe. Not even one with high castles.
We could see a goblin begin to load up more powerful jack-o'-lantern bombs, so we ran downstairs to cover before they caused even more damage. We then ran out to assess the damage after some time had passed. The pumpkin bombs destroyed our castle. You're gonna pay for this, Grim Reaper. On days 11 through 12, Gordon, Kane, and I looked over what was left of our castle.
They have destroyed everything, all that we have worked for.
I know how you feel, Gordon. However, maybe we can remake the castle, fully our own. Gordon and I left the ruins to gather more materials, while Kane cleared up what was left of the old castle. After gathering some materials, we decided to rebuild. We even added new defenses, so we wouldn't have to worry about being bombarded again.
Zozo, you're a genius. I still think we're going to need extra help.
Oh yeah? Who do you have in mind?
He's an old friend of mine. He has great power among our kind. Maybe he can help us.
Great. Where does he live?
Go deep within the forest. There you will find trees covered with symbols. Find the symbol that looks like a jack-o'-lantern and open it up.
Okay, seems simple enough.
I'll go with you.
I don't know, Kane. You can as easily be hurt.
How else might I prove my loyalty to you if I cannot be by your side?
Okay, Kane, you can come with me. On days 13 to 15, Kane and I were off to find the trees Gordon had talked about. After a good deal of walking, we finally spotted an area that looked interesting.
Oh, this one's shaped like a turkey. Let's go to this one.
Kane, remember, Gordon said the one shaped like a jack-o'-lantern. We soon found the tree and opened the door inside of it. I felt a gust of wind when suddenly the floor opened up and we began falling. Soon enough, we landed in what appeared to be a pumpkin patch. Well, this is weird.
Zozo, over here.
I followed Kane to what appeared to be an old mine, but no people were around. I wonder where everyone went.
No idea. Maybe we should gather some materials while we're here.
That's a good idea. Right away, we started gathering more materials, including coal and even a couple diamonds. Wow, this is great. I wonder why they just left this behind. Then out of nowhere, a horde of zombies showed up and started attacking us. I think I know where the miners went. We fought off most of them, but one of them appeared to surrender.
Stop! I don't want to fight. If you'd like, I can take you to our leader.
Oh, well, why didn't you just say so? Lead the way. On day 16 to 19, the zombie, whose name was Reggie, led us around his homeworld.
This is the Pumpkin Kingdom, a safe haven for all things spooky.
I can see that. This place is awesome.
I will take you to meet the king. You can discuss with him the matter of the Grim Reaper.
Great. Thank you, Reggie. Reggie led us to the palace where the Pumpkin King was seated on his throne. He was a tall, pumpkin-looking figure with big black eyes and long, bony hands.
Welcome, our new guests.
Thank you for having us, Your Majesty. We have come to seek your help to defeat the Grim Reaper. The king shuddered at the mention of the Grim Reaper.
Defeat that evil which tortures good spirits and enslaves souls? How I wish I could, but alas, no one can defeat that.
Surely there must be something we can do. No one should have to fear this foe. Pumpkin King got up from his throne and walked towards us.
I have heard of a certain item that was forged long ago. The trident, made out of an unknown material that can destroy any creature, even the Grim Reaper.
Great. Well, where is it?
It has since been split apart, with the pieces in different locations. The Valley of Snakes, the Cave of Darkness, and the Clown Carnival.
Well, that last one doesn't sound too scary.
Would you be willing to go on a quest to retrieve the pieces of the trident and fight the Grim Reaper?
Me? What can I do? I'm just a ghost.
Just a ghost? My dear Zozo, there is more to you than you might think. I can tell. I'm the Pumpkin King.
I'm sorry, Pumpkin King, but you got the wrong ghost for this job.
In time, I am sure you will understand.
On days 20 to 22, Kane and I left the Pumpkin Kingdom and ended up walking through a cemetery, stopping in the middle of it to catch our breath.
Zozo, why didn't you agree to find the missing pieces of the trident?
I don't know, Kane. I guess I just don't feel strong enough.
I know you can do it, Zozo. Pumpkin King is right. It will take time, but you will know.
Just then, we heard screaming coming from a distance and ran over to see what it was. Much to my surprise, it was another gravedigger. I guess cemeteries have those. He was surrounded by giant vultures. Oh man, I might as well try to save him from becoming buzzard food. Kane and I charged the vultures and attacked them with all of our might. Get away! Get out of here! Soon enough, the vultures were gone, and the gravedigger stood in shock.
Thank you, Mr. Ghost Thing, sir.
You're welcome, and next time you see a ghost or even a werewolf, remember, they aren't all bad.
Yes, sir. I will definitely remember that. I'll let the others know as well.
The gravedigger ran off to tell the nearby village what had just happened. Suddenly, I started feeling weird, like a boost of energy, and I transformed into an epic level phantom. Whoa, I have 15 hearts now.
Whoa, Zozo, not to be rude, but you look kind of weird.
I feel kind of weird, but at the same time, I feel I need to sing.
Sing? Sing about what?
About how I must defeat the Grim Reaper.
That's the spirit.
No, now I'm a phantom.
Oh, you know what I meant. Let's get on with this and head back to the castle.
Agreed. On days 23 to 26, Kane and I returned to the castle, only to see it attacked by a coven of witches. Jeez, these folks do not let up.
We have to help Gordon, Zozo.
You're right! Quickly, we sprang into action, knocking out several witches with every stroke of our weapons. Take that, and another blow for you! Pretty soon, all the witches were defeated, and we went to check on Gordon.
Oh, thank goodness you two have finally gotten back. It's been a Witchapalooza over here.
Gordon, are you alright? Has anything been damaged more?
Not really, it has just been obnoxious. On the brighter side, I found one of my organs. Now, just to find the right place to put it.
Well, while you do that, I'm gonna start working on something. Realizing that the witches, goblins, and other bad creatures could come back, I started the process of building a statue that could be seen as a sign of goodness and security. Can you tell what it is already? After I was done building the first part of the statue, I noticed a message in the sky. Subscribe? Huh, weird message, but definitely one to listen to. On days 27 to 31, I journeyed to the Valley of Snakes to find one of the pieces of the trident. Well, this place looks eerie. As I journeyed deeper into the valley, I began to hear noises of movement around the walls. Alright, I definitely need to be careful, but I have to know what's inside of this wall. What if it's what I'm looking for? I broke through the wall and fell down into a pit that had a giant pit viper in it. He charged towards me with his rapid speed, snapping his jaws and delivering some blows. Youch! I looked down and realized I had been bitten and poisoned by the pit viper. I managed to hide from him for a short while I healed. After healing for a bit, I decided I was strong enough to face it once more, so I charged into battle. I landed some attacks, but so did the viper. He poisoned me again, so I tried to hide, but it seemed like the viper had enough. He lied down and pleaded with me to leave him alone after I re-emerged from the tunnels. Where is the piece of the trident I need?
All right, I'll give it to you. Just stop hitting me.
I did what the pit asked, and he proceeded to give me the missing piece. On days 32 to 35, I traveled to the village the gravedigger mentioned, where I saw the Grim Reaper and some goblins in the nearby cemetery. Oh no, I can't fight him now. I only just got the first piece of the trident. Luckily for me though, the Grim Reaper wasn't interested in attacking me. Unluckily for the village, he was interested in attacking them. I could see a group of goblins launching explosives into the village. No, don't! The people! Quickly, I sprang into action, helping where I could to put out any fires the goblins set off with their explosions.
Thank you for your help, Zozo. Unfortunately, those goblins did a lot of damage to the village, and now we have no place to live.
Tell you what, when you folks finish your repairs, you can all come and live with me in my castle.
Wow, really? Do you mean it?
Of course, it gets kind of lonely there with only a ghost organist and a werewolf.
All right. Wait, wear what now?
On days 36 to 39, I returned with the villagers to the castle.
I always wanted to live in a castle. Maybe under different circumstances, but still, here we are.
Glad I could make it all come true for you.
Yeah, thanks. By the way, I hear you are looking for the lost pieces of a trident. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. I found one piece of it in the Valley of Snakes after answering a riddle.
Oh, really? What was the answer?
Ooh. Ah, that's funny. The pit viper had the same response.
Where will you go next to find the missing pieces?
Well, according to the Pumpkin King, the other locations are a cave and a carnival.
Wait, the Clown Carnival?
Yeah, have you heard of it?
That place is terrifying. Filled with broken down rides and creepy characters who lurk in the shadows.
Yeesh, not what I was expecting.
It's located right next to an old harbor, where it's said that a creature lives and hunts unsuspecting visitors.
Oh, well that isn't comforting.
Take this for your journey. It may come in handy.
The gravedigger handed to me what appeared to be a red nose? Okay, I'm sure this will make sense in the future, but right now, I'm lost. On days 40 to 43, I was on my way through the forest when what appeared to be a group of gnats? Oh great, I can't even see these guys. I started waving my sword all over the place, hitting whatever I could until I almost ran out of health. What am I gonna do now? Suddenly, I heard the sound of flapping, and streaks of black flew in front of me. The next thing I knew, the gnats were gone. Well, that was handy. Thank you, whoever that was.
You're welcome.
The voice came out of nowhere, but sounded so familiar. Wait a moment, is that... It was the raven I saved from earlier.
I thought I could repay the kindness you showed me earlier.
Well, thank you for that. I just wish I hadn't lost my sword in the process.
I may have something to help you with that.
Just then, the raven revealed to me a beautiful diamond sword, fit to take on any foe.
As a tribute of my loyalty and friendship, I give this to you.
I shall treasure it always. Thank you, and feel free to stop by the castle whenever you'd like. On days 44 to 49, I made it to the carnival, and I have to say, it was really creepy. Man, there really are clowns all over this place. I feel like I'm being watched. While looking through the old rides and attractions, I could hear the sound of running coming from behind me. I turned around to see it was a boy.
Watch out! The clowns are going to get us!
Clowns? Oh no! Suddenly, the clown stopped watching and started attacking. Oh, come on guys, stop clowning around! The clowns were intense, swinging at us, getting a few shots in. Hey, I thought clowns were supposed to be fun! Despite their efforts to overcome, this new sword proved to be really effective, and the clowns were defeated. Once that was finally over, I went to go check on the boy. Hey, are you okay?
Yes, thank you for saving me.
Of course, I would be scared too if a posse of clowns were chasing me. What are you doing out here anyways?
I was tricked into thinking this was a fun carnival, only to find it to be a nightmare.
You're telling me.
Yeah, why are you here?
I'm looking for a missing piece of an ancient weapon. Supposedly it is around here somewhere.
You may want to check closer to the harbor, but be careful. Unless you are a clown, I hear you could be hurt.
A clown, huh? Then I remembered that I still had that red nose on me. Quickly put it on. Well, how do I look?
I'm not going to answer that.
Probably for the best. On days 50 to 53, I started checking out the harbor, seeing if I could find the trident piece. Couldn't find a lot, but I did manage to find some bread and cod. That hit the spot. Just as I was continuing to look around, I saw the pit viper from the valley.
You think you can scare me away again? Well, not this time. I'll make sure you won't get that next piece of the trident.
He slithered toward me, snapping his jaws and showing his venomous fangs. Back, bad snake! Don't make me defeat you again! The pit viper would hear none of it and continued trying to attack me. Little did he know my new sword was super powerful, and with some mighty blows, he was defeated for good. See you never, Slither Boy. After the battle, I decided to go and heal up near the water. As soon as I started eating, the whole harbor began to shake, and a giant sea monster appeared up from the water.
Who dares to come into my domain? They will be ripped to... Oh, it's just another clown. What's up, my giggly friend?
I was wondering if you by chance had the piece of the trident.
Oh, that thing? Sure. Heck, it's been taking up room down here for a while. Keep it if you like.
Gee, thanks.
No problemo. Sea monster out.
Just like that, he went back into the ocean. I, meanwhile, was standing there trying to comprehend what had just happened. Well, that was easy. On days 54 to 57, I brought the boy, whose name was Jamie, back to the castle. Right away, I got to work, decorating a room in the castle for him. After I was done, Kane ran in looking for me.
Zozo, I'm glad I found you. I need your help. Quickly.
What's the issue, Kane?
My werewolf friends have been captured by a group of vampires.
Vampires? Really?
Our most deadly enemy. I need your help to free them. Please, will you help me?
Of course. You lead the way. Kane and I dashed off into the forest. Soon, we saw a spooky-looking structure in front of us. This must be the place. Cain transformed into his wolf form, and we went inside. We explored it room by room until we reached the top, where I could see the werewolves caged up and surrounded by a bunch of vampires. Okay, we need to think of a plan to fight them. If we can just... Let's go! No, wait! Cain! Cain charged towards the vampires, and I was following quickly behind. We fought hard against the vampires, but they seemed near invincible. Man, these guys are hard to beat.
You're telling me it's like they don't have any weaknesses.
Wait, that's it! Weaknesses! Quick, follow me. Both Cain and I ran outside as the vampires chased after us. The vampires were so busy fighting us, they didn't realize they were walking into a trap. The moment they stepped into the sunlight, the vampires simply vanished into dust.
Look, I think one of them dropped something.
I picked it up, and it was a vial of green liquid. Vampire serum. Use on an enemy to control them to your will. I'll definitely be using this in the future. On days 58 to 62, I continued to work on the statue. Can you tell what it is yet? Just as I was admiring the statue, I heard a large explosion coming from the castle. Oh no, what is happening now? I turned around and saw that the castle was under attack. Witches, goblins, and vultures, oh my! Quickly, I sprang into battle, chopping at any witch or goblin I saw. Take that, and some of that. Ooh, and you get some too! My friends joined me outside, and suddenly a black cloud appeared, revealing the Grim Reaper. He produced a massive sickle, and with an extremely powerful blow, took down all the villagers and werewolves.
Come to me.
All of a sudden, the spirits of the fallen rose up from their bodies and entered into the cloud with the Grim Reaper.
We will return.
Just like that, the Grim Reaper vanished. Suddenly, I could see Gordon rushing up to me.
Zozo, you must come quick. It's Cain. He has been badly injured.
Gordon led me over to where Cain was, and I could tell he was not all right. Cain, speak to me. It's gonna be all right.
Oh, Zozo, I am so sorry.
You have nothing to be sorry about. You fought bravely. That's all anyone could ever ask.
I just hope that I was truly loyal and a good friend.
You were the best, buddy. The most loyal and true friend any ghost could ever ask for. Cain appeared to smile. He then closed his eyes and was no more. On days 63 to 66, we buried the fallen from the previous battle. Goodbye, Cain. Thank you for believing in me. While we were all in a time of mourning, I was surprised to see the Pumpkin King come and call me over to him. It is good to see you, Pumpkin King. I just wish it were for different circumstances.
So do I, Zozo. However, I do come bearing some good news.
Oh really? What may that be?
My researchers have found the location of the Cave of Darkness, and we have also found this key, which is said to unlock the final piece of the trident.
The Pumpkin King told me the directions to the cave and gave me the key to take with me.
Stay strong, Zozo. It is said that the cave is guarded by cave trolls, who are known to be strong in their attacks.
I will be. Thank you for this useful knowledge. Unfortunately, just as we thought things couldn't be going worse, another swarm of bats tried to attack us. Really? This is not a good time. Just as the bats were attacking, the Pumpkin King screamed an awful scream that ultimately shook them up and made them faint. Whoa, how did you do that?
Well, you don't think I'm called the Pumpkin King without having a few tricks up my sleeve.
That's fair. Can you teach me that?
Huh, maybe someday. Right now, you've got a journey ahead of you.
Right. Thanks again. On days 67 to 70, I finally made it to the location of the Cave of Darkness. There appeared to be guards posted near the entrance in the cave, but these weren't just any guards. Trolls! Mountain trolls! They're even bigger than cave trolls. I quickly began thinking about how I could either distract or defeat those guys. Then I noticed the gravel hanging over the top of the cave ceiling. After noticing that they aren't going to move, I pondered my options and decided to mine out the ceiling and make the gravel fall. Incoming! The gravel came crashing down, crushing the trolls upon impact. Well, that was pretty easy. Just then, I heard footsteps and a larger troll came running over. He looked like the leader and must have heard the noise. With no other alternative, and now in plain sight, I decided I had to fight him. This is gonna hurt. Indeed it did. His blows were so powerful that I was losing hearts left and right. It's a good thing I'm fast. Just as I feared he was about to deliver the final blow, I thought about Cain and how much he had sacrificed. I couldn't lose now, not this time. I built up my courage and was able to fight back even harder than before. Soon, I had won. Then I was off to explore the Cave of Darkness. On day 71 to 74, I delved into the Cave of Darkness, looking for the last piece of the trident. Man, this place is dark. Oh wait, the Cave of Darkness. Yeah, that really makes sense now. Continuing on, I could see a big door with a lock on it, guarded by a cave troll. I got to get past him somehow. I pondered the situation, then I thought of something. I hid behind a rock and shouted out loud, "Pie! Free pie! Everybody, free pie!" The troll looked around, then took off running, right past me. Well, everybody knows you can't resist free pie. I ran over to the door and went to the lock. The key fit perfectly, and with a turn of the key, I opened the door. Finally, what I needed all along. As soon as I opened it, I saw the piece was gone. What? How is that possible? Right where the piece was, there was a note. I took it and read the following message.
Looks like you're too late. Did you really think you could beat me?
The Grim Reaper must have beaten me to it. I had to find him, and quickly. On days 75 to 78, I returned back to the castle, where I could see everyone had built some stables and a farm next to the castle. This is great. Hopefully nothing will stop us now. I could see Gordon playing music on the piano.
I know it's not much, but music can truly make a difference.
I'll take your word for it. I'm just glad everyone is working together.
Oh, by the way, the Pumpkin King was here before you returned. He wanted me to give this to you.
I opened up the Pumpkin King's gift, and it was a whole new suit of armor. It even came with a new ability, Ghost Whale. This is awesome! I was definitely going to be using this for the future.
Oh, that reminds me. What did you find in the cave?
Well, before I could even talk, a thunderous sound came from outside the castle. It was the troll, and he looked angry.
There was no free pie! You owe me a pie!
Oh boy, I knew this would come back to haunt me. Right away, I jumped down from the castle to reason with him, but he wasn't having any of it. He started to attack me with all of his might, and I was really starting to think that this was the end. Just then, I remembered I still had the vampire serum. I equipped it so that with the next blow I made, it would be under my control. I laid a hit on him, and he stopped trying to fight me. Ha! Alright then. Tell me, where has the Grim Reaper hidden the last piece of the trident?
It's located at the old farm, guarded by the maniac.
The maniac? Who's he?
Oh, he's just this tall, masked creature who hunts people with chainsaws.
Oh boy, when will these adventures ever get easy? On day 79 to 84, I made it to the old farm to look for the last piece of the trident. Hello? Any maniacs here with a chainsaw I should know about? While checking the area and making sure there weren't any maniacs around, I could hear the sound of someone asking for help, coming from the farmhouse. I looked inside and saw it was Iron Man. Iron Man? Why would you need my help?
Wait, do you think I'm the real Iron Man? I knew this suit was convincing. This is just my Halloween costume.
Oh, yeah, that makes more sense. Wait, I don't see any kids around. Are you an adult that still goes trick-or-treating?
Yeah, so I'm an adult who likes to get free candy. Big deal. But look, did you see that mask over there? The one by the mailbox?
Yeah?
If you could hand that over to me, I would really appreciate it.
Why don't you just go get it yourself?
Are you crazy? There's a maniac out there. I figured if I could get my mask, maybe he wouldn't attack me because he thought I was the real Iron Man.
Well, that's not the worst plan, I guess. You tricked me. Hang on a second. I ran over to the mailbox and quickly picked up the mask. I returned to the door to give the man the mask. Okay, before you go, I need to ask a couple questions.
All right, mask first, please.
Fine. I'm looking for a missing piece of an ancient weapon I need. Have you seen anything like that? Just then, I heard what could only be called dark laughing coming from outside. Sounds like it's time for you to go. The trick-or-treater jumped up and ran out the back door. I ran back outside and saw the Grim Reaper hovering above the barn.
Foolish ghost, did you really think it would be that easy?
Easy? No part of this was really easy. Where's that missing piece, Reaper?
Oh, do you mean this?
The Grim Reaper revealed the last piece. It was the one that had all the spears at the end.
I hope you have enjoyed your journey, little ghost. Now prepare to watch it crumble to pieces.
In his hand, the Grim Reaper destroyed the last piece of the trident, breaking it to pieces on the ground. No, you villain!
Yeah, that's kind of the point. Oh, and there's someone in here who is just crazy about meeting you. Good luck trying to fight off this maniac.
In an instant, the Grim Reaper was gone, and now I had a new enemy to face. The door of the house next to the barn broke to reveal the maniac I had heard so much about. He ran towards me, his chainsaw in hand. I thought quickly, then I remembered the Pumpkin King's gift of the ghost whale. As the maniac grew closer, I yelled as loud as I could, letting loose a great big force from my mouth, like a powerful wind. It knocked the maniac off his feet and took him out. I ran over to where he had come from and saw he had another chainsaw in a crate. I picked it up, along with the pieces of the trident the Grim Reaper had left behind. Maybe there's something I can still do with this. On days 85 to 89, I was heading through the forest when who should I see but Reggie, the zombie miner from the Pumpkin Kingdom. Reggie, it's good to see you, but what are you doing here?
I was sent by the Pumpkin King to tell you more information about the end. There is a portal that can transport you there.
Well, that's great, but what will I need?
You will need at least 12 Eyes of Ender. Only then can the portal truly work.
That's good, only there's one problem. I don't have any of those.
I was thinking that was going to be a problem, so I proceeded to take the liberty in giving you these.
He then tossed out 12 Eyes of Ender. Thank you, Reggie. This is extremely helpful.
What can I say? I'm a miner. I know how to find things.
Well, is there any way you can find a way to fix this? I proceeded to show Reggie the broken pieces of the trident head.
I will take these back to the Pumpkin King. Hopefully something can be done about them. Quickly.
Appreciate that immensely, Reggie. The quicker we act, the quicker we can defeat the Grim Reaper once and for all. On days 90 to 94, I started to get ready for my final journey. Gordon found some new iron ingots, which I forged to make new weapons and armor. I then gave all the new equipment to my friends.
Ah, cool. A gift of armor from a ghost. The things you never expect to say.
A little while later, while I was resting upstairs, I could see Jamie approaching me, looking very pleased with himself. Jamie, what happened?
I ended up going back to the carnival and harbor to see if I could gather any more materials and also face my fears.
I'm proud of you, Jamie. Well, what did you get? Jamie placed down a shulker box and I looked inside. It was full of netherite ingots. Jamie, how did you acquire all of this?
I went up to the sea monster, asked him if he had anything that was strong, and he gave me these.
All right, but how?
Simple. I just wore a red nose. All in all, the sea monster is a pretty chill dude, as long as you have the nose, of course.
With the netherite ingots, I quickly got to upgrading all my armor and weapons. If I'm going to the end, I'm gonna need all the help I can get. On days 95 to 97, I finally finished the statue. I'm sure you can tell what it is now. It's a jack-o'-lantern. Traditionally, they were used to ward off any evil spirits from invading one's home, which is exactly why I wanted to create it. After all the attacks by witches and goblins and things, sometimes it's good to defend oneself in a more classic way. I went to admire it in all of its glory. Hello, jack-o'-lantern.
Hello!
Ah, I didn't know you could talk.
You never asked!
That's fair. So, how's life?
Life is gourd! Life is gourd! Get it?
Yep, got it. Well, this has been fun. I should probably get going.
Leaving so soon? Don't you want my spooky blessing?
Just then, some particles appeared around me, and I gained 10 more hearts. Whoa, thanks! I'm feeling really gourd now. The pumpkin was silent for a moment.
Let me handle the gourd puns.
Sure, whatever you say. On day 98, I exited the castle and went to go look for the end portal frame. Suddenly, I could see what looked like a miner in a distance. Right away, I knew it was Reggie. Oh, great! Maybe he has the completed trident head. Quickly, I ran to greet him, hoping in my heart that he had what I needed. Reggie!
Zozo, I just got the chance to meet your jack-o'-lantern. Funny guy. The king will really get a kick out of him.
That's fine, but did you manage to get the trident head fixed?
That's why I wanted to meet you in person. It's almost done, but it will take a little longer.
We don't have much longer though. Tell the Pumpkin King to get that piece finished as quickly as possible, and then make sure you deliver it to me in the end as soon as you can.
All right, I will.
Reggie left, and it was time to go to the end. I started throwing out Eyes of Ender, which led me across the land. Eventually, the eye stopped, and I started to dig down, entering the stronghold. I found the portal and filled in the missing eyes of Ender. Suddenly, the portal awoke. All right, Grim Reaper, here I come. On day 99, I finally managed to enter the end. Well, this is trippy. Gathering my surroundings, I could see what appeared to be a cage. Looking closer, I could see it was filled with several ghosts and spirits. No, my people! Quickly, I rushed over toward it, but was attacked by the skeletons that were guarding it. If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you'll get. One by one, I fought and defeated each of the skeletons. Ha! Better luck next time, bone bags! Eventually, I got to the cage, but there was a big lock on the front of it. How am I gonna get these ghosts out of here? I could hear them pleading for me to break them out, talking about the lock. I know, I saw! Wait a minute, saw. Then I remembered I still had the Maniac's chainsaw from earlier. I don't know if this will work, but I have to try. I ran over to the lock and with the chainsaw, used it to try and cut the lock open. It was definitely taking a while for the lock to break and depleting the strength of the chainsaw. Man, this thing is strong! Fortunately, the chainsaw worked and the lock was broken. Go! Be free! The spirits flew out of the cage in a fury. I felt relieved when I saw that every single one had left the cage. Now, on to the big guy. On day 100, I continued fighting my way through the end. More goblins started to attack me, but using the ghost well, I quickly managed to defeat them. Let that be a lesson to you. No matter what creatures tried to fight me, I managed to press on to the final battle. Come on, Reaper, I don't fear you! Eventually, I appeared to have found what could only be called a massive structure that housed a throne room. The Grim Reaper sat on a throne, wielding a giant sickle.
So, have you come to die?
I have come to defeat you, once and for all.
Well, first, you'll have to find me.
With the snap of his bony fingers, the Grim Reaper was gone, and a swarm of zombies charged towards me. Back! Go rob somewhere else! The zombies appeared to be no problem, but I still didn't know where the Grim Reaper went.
Having fun?
The Grim Reaper appeared again. I have not yet begun to fight.
This is pointless. You know you cannot defeat me. I destroyed your last chance.
Zozo!
I turned around and saw Reggie standing behind me in the doorway. He threw something on the ground. It was the completed trident. I ran over and picked the trident up. Thanks, Reggie. Now get out of here. Reggie nodded and quickly ran off.
Oh, and what has your little friend brought you now?
You're doomed. I pointed the complete trident towards him. Just as I did, I could feel it power up, and I transformed into a supreme level spirit. The Grim Reaper shrieked at the sight of this, then lunged towards me with his sickle. The fight was momentous, with the Grim Reaper blinding me and using special attacks, and me blocking every harsh blow he tried. Little by little, I jabbed at him with the trident.
No one can defeat me!
Oh yeah? Well, I just did. With one final blow, I thrusted the trident into the chest of the Grim Reaper. He let out a wicked yell, and at last, he was defeated. With the battle won, I left the end and traveled back to my base. Back at the castle, everyone was there. They all cheered that the Grim Reaper had been defeated and that his minions could no longer torment us. The land was safe once more. On day 1, I spawned in as Black Panther. I only have 4 hearts. That doesn't seem like a lot for a superhero, but I can move quickly thanks to my cat-like reflexes. And it looks like I have vibranium claws too. Neat! Hey look, there's a waterfall right behind me. And there's some kind of skeleton with a giant battle axe? What is he doing here? Uh-oh, are we about to fight? Bring it on! The skeleton ran at me and swung his weapon, but with my cat-like reflexes, I dodged him easily. I ran up behind him and hit him with my claws. These claws were really powerful. Whoa, he fell right over the waterfall. I won! Too bad I can't get any loot from that skeleton because he fell down so far. I really wanted that cool battle axe. I decided to go to the bottom of the waterfall and look to see if I could find it. When I got there, I saw that the skeleton was still standing. He ran at me again, but this time I faced him head on. He was no match. And look at that, he dropped the battle axe. It's not vibranium, but it's still pretty cool. I wonder where that skeleton got it. I decided to take shelter in a cave under the waterfall and relax for the rest of the day. On day 2, I was woken up by the sounds of an angry gorilla. It had come out from the back of the cave and was trying to attack me. I looked at it a little closer and realized that it wasn't an ordinary ordinary gorilla. It was a zombie ape. Ah, get away from me, zombie. Don't make me use my new weapon. I ran away from the zombie ape and out into the sunlight where it didn't want to follow me. I guess that it was one of those mobs that take damage in the daytime. It was an undead just like the skeleton I fought yesterday. Maybe they were common in this area. I decided to leave the waterfall behind and follow the river towards the grasslands. Whoa, there are so many animals here. I could see a rhino and a giraffe, and it looked like they weren't zombies. Thank goodness. I guess I'll let them eat grass in peace, especially because I was starting to get hungry too. I saw some berry bushes, so I started punching them to gather food. Once I got enough, I refilled my canteen in the river. Surviving would be a lot easier now, and if I got into a fight, I already had some pretty good weapons. Still, I thought it might be good to build a shelter in case the zombies came out at night. I used the battle axe I got from the skeleton to chop down trees. I soon had enough wood to make a small hut and bed. It was almost nighttime, so I went inside and went to sleep. When I woke up on day 3, I noticed that there was a tree outside that wasn't there yesterday. It was really big and looked ancient and magical. There was a glowing panther spirit sitting in the branches. I made my way over to the magic tree, and the panther spirit started talking to me.
Zozo, this land needs your protection.
Oh, it looked like I was going to get a superhero quest. I stood there and I listened closely.
We are under attack by an undead warlord to the west of the grasslands. He is turning everything into zombies and skeletons. You must stop him.
An undead warlord? That sounded scary, and he was probably really strong. I'd need a lot more than 4 hearts to take him on, but I couldn't just ignore a quest from the panther spirit. The people and animals needed my help too, and maybe there was a way to turn the animals that had already become zombies back to normal.
Journey westward, and you will find his evil lair.
I spent the rest of the day gathering supplies for my journey and practicing with my weapons on any mobs I could find. On days 4 to 5, I traveled from my hut in the grasslands all the way to the heart of the desert. According to the panther spirit, I was heading in the right direction to reach the overlord's lair. Before long, I saw a zombie boar wandering around in the sand. Oh no, looks like the overlord has already turned the animals in the desert into zombies. The zombie boar charged me, and I lost a bit of health. I had to protect myself, so I drew my battle axe and took a couple swings. I'm sorry, Mr. Boar. The fight was over in no time. I spotted an oasis nearby. I had been traveling for a long time, and night would be here soon. I didn't want to be caught outside if more zombies showed up, so I gathered some wood from the palm trees and set up camp. I had just finished my little oasis hut when a genie appeared out of thin air. I thought I was going to get 3 wishes at first, but then he spoke, and I knew he wasn't the nice kind of genie.
Who dares come to my oasis without an invitation?
I said I was sorry and that I just needed somewhere to spend the night, but the genie created a sandstorm, and suddenly the oasis was gone. He may not have granted me any wishes, but he had left an item behind in the sand. I went to pick it up, and it turned out to be a brand new pair of Roadrunner boots. Awesome, now my movement over the sand will be twice as fast. On days 6 to 8, I was still in the desert when I saw a gigantic archway made of bones. There was a skeleton warrior underneath it, and he was carrying an obsidian shield and spear. It didn't look like he was going to let me pass without a fight. I put my battle axe away and got my vibranium claws ready.
You cannot go any further. I am the Skull Guardian, and you can't beat me.
He seemed serious, but I had to try. If I couldn't win here, there was no way I could beat the Overlord. I attacked him, but even my vibranium claws couldn't get through his shield. It was too tough, even for obsidian, and his spear kept damaging me. I was almost out of health. The only thing I could do to survive was run away. Good thing I had those Roadrunner boots. I turned around and got out of there. The Skull Guardian stayed at the archway and shouted after me.
You are too weak. Come back when you are stronger.
Maybe I still needed some more training. While I was running away though, I was spotted by a group of hoglins. I could have easily run away from them, but I was tired of running. I stopped and decided to face them. I took out my claws and defeated each and every one of them. When I defeated the last hoglin, I suddenly felt something inside of me. I grew into an even bigger Black Panther with more hearts. I also saw that the hoglins had dropped a ton of leather. I could use this when I got back to my base. On days 9 to 10, I went back to the grasslands to expand my hut into a base. I used some sandstone from the desert to make it into a small tower and crafted myself a full set of leather armor too. I then crafted a shovel. I felt a pull to this area for some reason, like it was calling to me, so I dug down until I hit some stone. There, I had an entrance to a mine beneath the tower now. I'd have to check it out further later. I built more furniture inside the base. Using wood I was able to gather from a bunch of trees in the grasslands. The one tree that I didn't use for wood was the ancient spirit tree. The panther spirit wasn't there, but I was hoping that maybe it would show up to help me again. I definitely needed some advice on how to defeat the Skull Guardian. If I couldn't beat him, I would never be able to defeat the Overlord and save this land from zombification. On days 11 to 12, I was walking along the river when I saw the zombie ape from the cave splashing around in the water. Had it followed me all the way to the grasslands? It really might have, because it noticed me and ran up to attack. I was a lot stronger now though. This ape didn't know what he was getting himself into. Sure enough, I was able to win against the zombie ape that I ran away from on day 2. I looked at the river to see a water elemental emerging from below the surface.
Thank you. That zombie had taken over my home behind the waterfall, and last night it chased me all the way here to the grasslands.
Who are you?
I am the spirit of the river, and I can see that you are a great hero. This land needs a protector, and I'm glad you were here to save me.
I'm not that great of a hero yet. I need to beat the Skull Guardian or I'll never save the animals.
Have faith in yourself. I am friends with the Panther Spirit, and he believes you can do this.
But last time I fought against him, I didn't even damage him, and he almost took all of my health.
The only reason you lost to the Skull Guardian was because he had an enchantment cast on him that shields him from the attacks of the living.
The spirit of the river handed me a potion.
Drink this potion, and your claws will be able to strike true. That should make it a fair fight.
I said thank you to the spirit. If so many beings were counting on me, I couldn't give up. On days 13 to 15, I decided to check out my mine again, but first, I needed to grab my pickaxe. I still felt something drawing me to dig deeper, so I started digging down. Whoa, what's that? It was a strange material. Vibranium! Turns out, there was a lot of it just below the surface. This land must be rich in it or something. Either that, or I just discovered the only vibranium mine around. I gathered a bunch of it and went to my base to see what I could craft. It turned out, I could make a full set of vibranium armor and tools. Super! I have some serious armor now. My base is also looking way cooler. It's tricked out with vibranium walls and minecart rails. I kept the ancient tree protected in its own little courtyard and made sure to give it plenty of water. I also remembered to plant trees around the grasslands so that I get more wood in the future. On day 16 to 19, I was making my way back through the desert when I ran into a group of husks, and it looked like they wanted to meet the Black Panther up close and personal. The husks attacked me, but I fought back, clawing away at them. Take that, you dried out no-good zombie, and here's one for you, you wannabe mummy. Before I knew it, I had beaten the whole group, but then I heard something and turned around. There was one more husk, and this one was way bigger than the others. That's a huge husk. I wasn't scared though, and I rushed right in to face him. The huge husk hit a lot harder than his little brothers, but his skin was just as soft as theirs, and before long, he was down for the count too. You know, I was glad those husks attacked me though. It was good practice for my claws, since I knew I'd be facing the Skull Guardian soon. On days 20 to 22, I reached the archway where the Skull Guardian was waiting and challenged him to a fight.
So, you think you can beat me this time?
Sure I can. Watch this! I drank the potion that the water elemental gave me, and now my attacks could actually damage him. I still had to keep my guard up and dodge a spear attack, but even his shield couldn't stop my vibranium claws this time. After several hits, he finally went down and dropped a skeleton key. A skeleton key? Was this thing made from the skull of the guy I had just defeated? Gross. This would probably come in handy later though, so I made sure to take it with me. My journey continued on, and soon I made it out of the desert to a wasteland. I'd have time to explore it soon, but for now, I decided to get back to my base, but not in the way you might be thinking. On days 23 to 26, I decided I didn't want to have to cross through the desert again in case I ever wanted to come back here, so I decided to build a massive tunnel back to my base. I dug down a little ways and then started tunneling in the direction of my base, placing torches as I went. It took a long time, but eventually I got to where I thought my base should be and tunneled up out of the ground. I popped up right in front of my base. How's that for good luck? When I got to the door of my base though, I saw there was a package waiting for me with a note attached to it. This must be from the water elemental. I could tell because it was all wet. The note read,
Dear Zozo, you're doing great. I knew you could defeat the Skull Guardian. Included are some potions that should make your journey easier. P.S. If you're liking the video, make sure you search for other Zozo videos at ZOZO to see more adventures he's been on.
Yep, definitely weird, but when I opened the package, I saw it was full of experience potions. Nice! I drank the potions and felt myself starting to change. I grew bigger and had more hearts, too. On days 27 to 31, I upgraded my base to look a little nicer, since Black Panther is a king after all. I started a statue outside too, something that I knew would inspire me every time I came back to my base. I know it's only the very start, but can you tell what it is yet? Next, I laid down some track in the tunnel so I could quickly get back to the wasteland using a minecart. When my minecart ride was over, I exited the tunnel and took a look around the wasteland to see if I could find any sign of the Overlord's lair. That's when I noticed a small village hidden among the rocky hills of the wasteland. The villagers there said they'd been attacked by zombies, and some of them had even gotten turned into zombies.
Our iron golem was supposed to protect the village, but it's been broken for a long time.
Don't worry, I have an idea for how to fix it.
You're the best.
On days 32 to 35, I gathered more vibranium from the mines at my base so I could use it to upgrade the village's iron golem. It would be 4 times as strong as an iron golem would be, so the villagers would have nothing to worry about from invading monsters. I was really starting to get creative at using vibranium in my creations, and I soon realized that the material had another special ability I could use to improve my base's defenses. Vibranium could generate force fields, and with a little bit of tinkering, I was able to make a force field dome around the whole base. Let's see those zombie animals try to get inside now. On days 36 to 39, I returned to the wasteland village and used the vibranium to upgrade their iron golem. Now they had their very own vibranium golem.
Hooray! You saved our village!
It sure does feel good to be the good guy. Now I could ask them to help me in my quest. I'm looking for the evil overlord who has been making zombies. Do you know where I can find him?
No one here knows. You should go speak to the shaman of the mountains.
Thanks. On days 40 to 43, I trekked up the snowy mountains and found the lair of the shaman. It was guarded by a friendly snow golem. They didn't bother me, probably because they knew what a hero I was. Inside of a long wooden house was the shaman. They had so many magical potions on their shelves, including ones I had never seen.
So, you must be the one I've been hearing about. I've got an idea for something the
that might be able to help you in your quest.
I'm all ears.
I'm working on a potion that can turn zombies back into normal animals and people, but I need magic flowers from the jungle in order to complete the recipe.
You can count on me, Shaman. On days 44 to 49, I headed deep into the jungle in search of the flowers the shaman needed. Eventually, I saw it, the hill shaped like a skull where the flowers were supposed to be. I fought my way up the hill. Eventually, I got to the top. Phew, that was a tough climb even without a bunch of mutants. No wonder the shaman needed someone to get these for him. And then I saw them. At the very top of the hill, inside the skull, were the flowers. I ran up to the flowers and tried to pick them up, but they were stuck. I couldn't pick them. That's when I realized they weren't stuck to the ground. They were actually part of a giant plant monster. The giant plant monster rose out of the ground, the flower still on top of his head. I don't suppose you'd let me have some of your flowers. But the plant monster didn't want to talk. It wanted to fight. It was a tough enemy. I had to avoid its poisonous plant breath attack and be careful not to get punched by it. It hit super hard, but eventually I took it down and it left one of its flowers as loot. Awesome. Now I can leave this crazy place. On days 50 to 53, I returned to the shaman. I invited them to come stay at my base while they finished the potion. When we got there, I built an area for the shaman to stay and work, complete with a nice big cauldron for magical potions.
Just a bit more fine-tuning and my anti-zombie potion will be complete. Thanks again for getting those flowers.
You're welcome. You could have mentioned the giant poisonous plant monster, but really, I'm just glad to have helped.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Here, take this as an apology.
The shaman tossed something at me. When I picked it up, I realized it gave me a new recipe. It was an upgrade ability for my suit that allowed me to build in some of the vibranium force field tech. Now when the enemies tried to hit me, I could blast them away. Now that's what I call a powerful ability. On days 54 to 57, the shaman and I went into the grasslands and tested the potion on some of the zombie animals. Wow, it actually works! We started turning animals back, one by one, until we got almost all the animals in the grasslands.
We've got plenty of more where that came from back at the base.
I didn't know what I'd do without the shaman.
Watch out!
Suddenly, the shaman pushed me aside. I was about to ask why when a giant beam of pure evil power shot down from above, and in seconds, the shaman was gone. Oh no, that must have been the Overlord. He must have been aiming for me. I started to run, zigging and zagging as beams shot down from above. I kept running until I saw a cave and jumped in, just before a beam could hit me. On days 58 to 62, I waited in the cave until I didn't hear any more powerful beams outside. But what I did hear was something deeper in the cave. I turned around to see a spider leaping at me. Time to try out my new force field ability. I blasted him. Looks like it works just fine. I practiced with my new force field ability some more, and when I was sure I had the hang of it, I finally defeated the spider. With the spider defeated, I remembered the shaman and how quickly the Overlord's attack had appeared. How was I ever going to defeat him? It didn't matter. I had to figure out a way, since that's what superheroes do. I knew there was still a lot of anti-zombie potion left, so at least the shaman's sacrifice was not in vain. Soon, this land would be safe from zombies. I would make sure of it. On days 63 to 66, I snuck out of the cave and went back to my base, where I gathered up all the anti-zombie potions the shaman had made. Before I left, I wanted to do some work on my statue. I needed something to cheer me up after all that had happened, and I knew a great statue like this would encourage me every time I saw it. So what about now? Can you tell what I'm making yet? I took anti-zombie potions back to the wasteland, and every time I encountered a group of zombies, I used the potions on them to turn them back into villagers. Then I sent them to go live at the village, protected by the vibranium golem. The villagers were happy to see so many people get changed back and sent me a letter to say thank you.
Keep it up. We've got more villagers now than ever before. Our little village keeps growing, just like your number of subscribers. And we hope everyone watching joins your village of subscribers too.
Oh, thanks guys. On days 67 to 70, while exploring the wasteland and saving more villagers from their zombified fate, I finally saw something far off in the distance. It was the evil lair that the Panther Spirit and the River Spirit had told me about. I was sure that the Overlord was in there. I could feel it, but it wasn't going to be easy getting to it since I could see that between me and the base was an enormous chasm. It looks like it went all the way around the base with no clear way to get across. I didn't have much time to think about it though, because suddenly I was attacked by a group of zombie apes. You guys again? Haven't you had enough of being zombies? I went to throw an anti-zombie potion at them when I realized I was all out. Oh no! I didn't want to fight them, but I was surrounded. It didn't look like I'd have much of a choice. With no way to turn them back to normal apes, I had to deal with them the old-fashioned way, with my claws. There were a lot of undead apes, but I was able to put all my skills and abilities to use, dodging their attacks and rushing in to land my own. Finally, the last of them had been taken care of. Phew, sorry about that guys. I promise to make sure I have a full stack of anti-zombie potions next time. I could still see the Overlord's base far off in the distance. It was far enough away that it would probably take me a while to reach it, and then I'd have to deal with that huge chasm. I had a plan for that though, but first, I'd need to return to my base. On day 71 to 74, I built my coolest vibranium invention yet, an aircraft with vibranium-powered levitation devices built into the wings. The only thing scarier than a Black Panther is a flying Black Panther. With my new aircraft, I'd be able to fly right over that giant chasm and drop in right on top of the Overlord. Before taking it out to the wasteland though, I decided I should practice around my own base. Alright, here we go. The first test flight of the Wakanda 1 aircraft. It worked! The aircraft lifted into the sky. The Overlord would never know what hit him. I practiced flying around, doing circles around my base, gradually getting further and further away as I got more comfortable. Whoa! I was still getting used to the controls though, and almost crashed into a river. Luckily, I was able to pull up at the last moment, and before long, I had the controls down and the aircraft was soaring like a bird. On days 75 to 78, I flew the vibranium aircraft to the Overlord's lair, passing right over the giant chasm. Wow, from up here, it looks like it doesn't even have a bottom. Good thing I didn't try to cross it on foot. Before I left my base, I had made sure to fill the cargo hold with plenty of anti-zombie potions. Time to save this land from tyranny. From high in the air, I could see a group of zombie apes in the lair's courtyard. I decided to drop a bunch of potions down at them from the airship, turning them back into normal gorillas. I kept raining down potions wherever I saw undead, and soon everything was back to normal. There was only one thing left to do. I landed the aircraft on the roof, which I thought should give me direct access to the Overlord's throne room. I stepped inside the throne room and saw that I was right. There was the Overlord waiting for me.
You dare interfere with my plans? I will make you a zombie next, and then everyone and everything you know will become my zombies.
He swung his weapon at me, but my suit's armor was strong enough to keep the damage low. I blasted him back with my force field and then used my vibranium claws to land a couple good hits.
You cannot defeat me. I am the Overlord.
Watch me. I swung my hardest and knocked him down with my claws. Strangely though, he just started laughing. He started to glow and rise into the air.
You fool. All you've accomplished is releasing me from my zombie body, and soon I will be the mightiest being in the world.
Uh-oh, I may have really messed up here. The Overlord, now a super powerful evil spirit, vanished. It looks like I had just released an even greater bad guy. On days 79 to 84, I used my aircraft to return to the River Spirit. I wanted to see if I could get any answers on how to defeat the Overlord's new spirit form.
Well, the good news is he can't go back into his body now that he's a spirit.
What's the bad news?
The bad news is only full spirits can fight other spirits, and I'm not strong enough alone. Perhaps I could. No, it's impossible.
What? What's your idea?
Well, there is one thing that might work. I'm able to impart some of my river powers on others, but it's far too dangerous. You're not nearly strong enough to survive it.
But if I was able to handle you giving me some of your river powers, could that turn the tide?
Maybe, but you'll need to become much stronger both in body and mind if you want to withstand my powers.
I had to stop the Overlord, and this seemed like the only way, so there was only one thing for me to do: get stronger. It was time to start training. On days 85 to 89, I returned to my base and built some new areas where I could start training my body and mind. For physical strength, I built a dojo near the Panther Spirits tree, complete with dummies that I could practice my attacks on. I had an even better idea for how to make my mind stronger, but to make it a reality first, I had to finish my statue. I completed my statue and stood back to look at it. I thought it looked great and felt mentally stronger just from gazing at the powerful panther emerging from the mountain. But it still needed one more thing. I decided to build a meditation spot right under its mouth, somewhere that I could focus and strengthen my mind. After training both in body and mind, I returned to the River Spirit, but he quickly sent me away, telling me I wasn't nearly strong enough yet. I returned to my base again to train, and this time the Panther Spirit himself appeared in my dojo. He told me that he'd train with me so I could get better at fighting even quicker. I had an idea for how to improve my meditation training too. I went back to the statue and made it so that the water would pour out of its mouth, creating a waterfall. I then built an area right where the water hit the ground where I could sit in the rushing water and meditate, learning how to focus even with powerful forces raging all around me. As I sat in the rushing water, thinking about my fighting training, I suddenly felt myself start to change. I grew in size and gained more hearts. Surely now I must be strong enough to handle the River Spirit's power. I returned to the river and met with the spirit again. This time, there was no doubt.
You're ready now. I will give you my powers.
The River Spirit combined with mine, and I felt his power within me. I felt stronger, like my attacks would do more damage since they were infused with water power. And I now had the ability to create water anywhere too. Look out, evil spirit. A hero is on his way to take you down. On days 90 to 94, I returned to my base to get my aircraft when a wasteland villager suddenly appeared. He told me that the evil spirit had sent an army of zombie piglins to invade their village, and they needed help. I hopped into my aircraft and flew to the village as fast as I could. When I got there, I saw that the villager was right. There were zombie piglins everywhere. The village was on fire, and villagers were trying to escape. The vibranium golem was fighting off as many piglins as he could, but there were simply too many for him to handle alone. I fought what seemed like 100 little oinkers, using my new water ability to blast them. Eventually, we beat the last one, but the village had been almost completely destroyed. Villagers who had escaped were badly shaken and afraid. My base was big enough now that I was able to invite all the surviving villagers to stay there permanently. All of the villagers agreed to come, even the vibranium golem. On days 95 to 97, I took the villagers down to my train tunnel and built even more minecarts for them to start going to my base. I flew my aircraft back to the base so I could get it ready for them. I built enough houses for everyone in the same style as their village, and even built farms that looked exactly like their old home. The vibranium golem seemed happy too. He agreed to keep patrolling the new area and defend the villagers if any threats appeared. Just as I was finishing up the last house, I heard the voice of the Panther Spirit calling to me. I went back to his ancient tree once again.
The evil spirit is waiting for you at the end of the river. It knows you teamed up with the river and thinks if it can destroy the river, it can destroy you too.
Don't worry, I've got this. this. Together, the river and I are invincible.
Go to the river delta, where the river meets the sea, and there you shall find the evil spirit.
But before I left, he told me that there was one more thing he could do to help me. The panther spirit leapt towards me and absorbed into my body. I felt myself start to change, and I suddenly grew into a huge, superpowered Black Panther. I had a ton of hearts and felt more powerful than ever. Now, filled with the power of both the river and the panther, I embarked on what I hoped would be the quest that saved this land for good. On day 98, I was making my way downriver towards the ocean when I saw the shaman appear in front of me in ghostly form.
Hello there.
Shaman, you're a spirit now too.
Yes, before that ray of evil could kill me, I used my magic to become a spirit. I've been watching your progress, and you've been doing an amazing job. I think you could use some help, though.
I'll take any help I can get. What I could really use now is some moral support.
I can definitely give you that, but it would be even more powerful if everyone watching the video did too, by giving a like and subscribing. The more likes and sub you have, the stronger you'll be when you face the evil spirit.
Wow, thanks, Shaman. I hope everyone likes and subscribes so that I'll be really powerful. And if you like the video, make sure to type Zozo, Z-O-Z-O, in the search bar to see my other adventures. There's a whole bunch of them.
I will do that.
Well, I didn't think you had YouTube, but okay, cool. On day 99, I made it to the river delta. A vast ocean stretched out into the horizon before me. Come out, evil spirit, it's me, and I've got the river spirit to help me. I used my spirit powers to walk on the water, and soon I was standing in the middle of this great sea. A dark shadow rose up from below, breaking through the surface of the water. It was the evil spirit.
You're too late. I will soon eat the river and become even stronger. Then I turn anything that drinks from the river into one of my undead servants.
We will never let this happen. I used my water powers to hit the evil spirit. Then I ran in and started clawing him.
Oh, that does it.
The evil spirit called down his beam of destruction, the same one he used on the shaman, but I was ready this time. There was no way he could win. Not after everything I went through. Not after I came this far. As we battled, I suddenly saw other beams of energy. I looked to my sides and saw the panther, the river, and the shaman spirit standing next to me, adding their energy into mine. My combined spirit beam grew bigger and stronger, and in moments, the evil spirit's power had run out, and he was blasted by the beam.
Impossible. No!
I rushed in, and with one final blow from my spirit claws, I put an end to his reign of evil for good. On day 100, I returned to the base and built myself a royal chamber suitable for a Wakandan king. The land may have been saved this time, but somebody would need to remain and be its protector. And from now on, that would be me. On day 1, I spawned in as a land shark, the most awesome carnivore ever. I'm a real fish out of water. I've got 9 hearts from the start because sharks are naturally born tough. And even though I'm tiny, I still have a bite. Looking around, I saw that my starting area was a desert, or should I say, a sea of sand. But there aren't any other sea creatures anywhere. I wanted to go find some fish to eat, so I started swimming through the land in search of a nice meal. Da-dum, 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 da-dum. I eventually ran into another animal, but it was a tarantula. I heard that they were poisonous, so I didn't want to eat it, but it definitely wanted to eat me. That's no way to treat the top of a food chain. Wait, am I even at the top of a food chain? I swam away from the tarantula and soon discovered that I had the ability to dive inside of sand blocks to hide. I stayed under the desert's surface until the tarantula got bored of looking for me and moved on. Then I popped back up out of the sand. I didn't expect other things would try to eat me today. While I was thinking, a coyote tried to snack on me too. It took off a few hearts, but this time I fought back. As I expected, my bite packed a real wallop. I celebrated my win by chowing down on some coyote meat. It wasn't that tasty, but at least it kept my hunger meter full. I'd look for something better to eat tomorrow. Until then, I'd take shelter inside of a sand dune. On day 2, I resurfaced and went on to explore the desert in search of materials. At a nearby oasis, there was a grove of palm trees. I bit a few of them down and collected the wood they dropped. Ugh, that tasted gross. This is why I need tools in the first place. I got sick of biting trees pretty quickly, so I crafted a wooden axe to cut down enough of the remaining trees that I could make a complete set of wooden tools. While I was chopping, an octopus fell down from one of the trees. That was definitely the last place I expected an octopus to be. But then again, I was a land shark.
What's the big idea? Can't a guy hide in a tree peacefully without getting knocked down?
Sorry, buddy. I had no idea you were up there. What is an octopus doing in a tree anyway?
It's not safe to wander out in the open out here. There are huge spiders everywhere, and they're looking for me.
I thought spiders and octopuses got along. You have so much in common, like having 8 limbs and... that's about it.
We most certainly don't get along. And I suggest you find a place to hide too. The spiders out here are looking for sharks too. Sharks like you.
So they were hunting me. But why?
I've said enough. I need to find a new place to hide. Good luck.
The octopus ran away, but not before dropping some healing potions. He must have been prepared for the worst. I felt a little bad about taking them, but if he hid well enough, he wouldn't be needing them. On day 3, I decided to make the desert oasis into my base. I may have been able to swim on land, but having a source of drinking water around was never a bad idea. So I started chopping away at the rest of the palm trees to clear out an area where I could create my own personal retreat. Suddenly, a wild emu came bounding across the desert towards me. It was surprisingly fast and aggressive, but I was hungry, so that didn't stop me from taking a bite. The bird's attacks did a bunch of damage, so I was grateful for my higher starting health. Emus are trouble. If only I had heavy artillery. A couple bites later, and the emu was defeated. It also dropped a delicious golden drumstick. That looks yummy. I gobbled up the drumstick and felt myself begin to change. I became a bigger shark, and my bite damage increased to be as strong as an iron sword. My already great number of hearts also increased to 17. I tried my ability to dive into land on the grass blocks and found that I could now dive into those too. I bet this works on all kinds of blocks now. Now I can explore the terrain safely. I spent the rest of the day constructing my resort. It was made out of the palms I chopped down earlier. I also added a room for myself. To protect myself from mobs, I decided to also include a fence that surrounded the entire resort. On days 4 to 5, I went out to catch some rabbits to keep at the base for a steady food supply. I was a carnivore after all. I spotted some hanging around by some cacti, but a tarantula scared them away. Didn't the octopus say that those tarantulas were looking for me? I decided to get to the bottom of this and confront the spider directly. I hid and waited until he got close, and then I popped out of the ground to ambush him. I gave him one bite to show him I meant business, and then I gave him a piece of my mind. Hey, what do you want with us sea creatures anyway? The tarantula was startled by my ambush, but chuckled like he was remembering a secret.
You'll find out soon enough, tasty shark. Sous Chef has promised us tarantulas a bowl of her famous soup if we bring a land shark to her.
Sous Chef? Who is that?
You mean you don't know? She's only the fanciest and most renowned chef in the entire world. Her seafood cuisine is legendary, and very soon you are going to become a part of it.
But I'm not a seafood. I'm a land shark.
Then let's see if your flavor is the same.
The tarantula struck back with a bite attack that left me poisoned. I was taking gradual damage to my hearts from the after effects. That's one lousy status condition. I need to finish this quickly. My enhanced bite did the trick. A couple of those were too much for the tarantula, and he was no more. That's what you get for poisoning me. Even after the fight was over, I was still affected by the lingering poison damage, but thankfully, I had enough hearts remaining to wait for it to wear off. The total was way more damage than I was expecting. I even had to use a couple of healing potions I got from the octopus. I was lucky I took that tarantula by surprise. If he had ambushed me instead, that could have been it. I returned to the base to wait for my heart meter to regenerate. On days 6 to 8, I searched a nearby forest for some materials to craft an antidote to tarantula poison. I had a feeling that yesterday wouldn't be my last tango with those spiders, and I wanted to be prepared for next time. I found a patch of some plants with healing properties, which I could use to replenish my potions, but they wouldn't be able to neutralize the poison itself. I don't like it, but I think I need to capture a tarantula and study the poison. After that, I started flopping my way back over to the desert I'd made my home. I made my way across the dunes until I saw a tarantula, then I dove under the sand to hide. It didn't seem to notice me, so I waited for an opportunity to strike. But just then, another mob swooped out of the sky and attacked the tarantula. Whoa, what is that thing? It was a tarantula hawk, the tarantula's natural predator. It looked really tough, but it was distracted because it was fighting the tarantula. I emerged from the sand and took the tarantula hawk by surprise. The fight was won before it even began. Sharks are problem solvers. The tarantula hawk dropped something that would solve my poison problem, a rare poison resistance potion. I ate the whole thing in one bite. Hooray! With this, I won't take any extra damage from the tarantula venom. On days 9 to 10, I explored some nearby hills, which I could mine for stone and other sturdy blocks that couldn't be found in the desert. I had fun trying out my dive ability on a bunch of different surfaces. While I was diving, I fell into an area where a lot of carrot plants were growing. I'm going to take these and replant them at my base. Those rabbits will have to eat something before I eat them. As I was pulling up carrots, I felt like someone was behind me and turned around. It was a girl. She was dressed as a chef and carrying a really big knife. I hoped it wasn't who I thought it was.
I, sous chef,
I found myself another shark. And I thought the only ingredients out here were carrots.
Oh no, it's exactly who I thought it was. See ya.
Wait, come back. Hey, Sharky.
Even though I was bigger, I was still just a fish. And a fish doesn't pick a fight with a chef. It never ends well. I swam as fast as I could until I lost her, and then I dove into the stone. For some reason, it was trickier this time. That's when I realized there was another shark trying to hide. Unlike me, this guy was a hammerhead shark. I bet building stuff is really easy for him.
Boy, am I glad to meet you. I thought I was the only shark left.
So did I. If you don't mind me asking, do you know where all the other sharks went?
That sous chef you just saw has been rounding up our kind and turning us into soup for her restaurant.
Soup? Oh no, I hate soup. And I'd hate being in it even more. She must be stopped. On days 11 to 12, my new hammerhead friend and I went back to my base. I made him his own room to make him feel right at home at my aquatic animals resort. Because stairs are really difficult to climb for finned boys like us, I decided to build in some pillars that we could use to swim up and down between levels. I was out getting more material when I was attacked by a giant snake. Let's hope my poison resistance works against snake venom too. The second it sunk its fangs into me, I was badly poisoned. My hearts were reducing quickly, so I ran back to base and started working on a new way to counter the venom. I knew that honey could help with curing poison, so I went and found a hive of desert bees, which I carefully transported to a safe location near my base. Now I have all the honey I need to avoid getting sick. I went back to fight the giant snake, and thanks to the honey and my healing potions, I was able to outlast it in a battle of bites. The snake dropped a rattle when it was defeated, and I had a feeling this was the key to building my poison resistance. I combined the rattle with some of the flowers and honey I had collected earlier and crafted an extra strength poison resistance potion. I drank it immediately. I'll bet I can become immune to all poisons if I keep making potions like these. On days 13 to 15, I was fast asleep in my shark bed when I remembered something from long ago, before I was even a baby land shark. It must have been a memory from a distant land shark ancestor. Back then, all of us land sharks swam through the desert together in a big group, or a shiver of sharks. There was always plenty to eat, and we always shared with each other. But one day, an army of tarantulas showed up and started capturing the sharks and their sticky spider webs. They dragged my ancestors to a huge cooking pot where sous chef was waiting.
Très bien. With this latest haul, I'll have shark fin soup to serve in my restaurant for years to come.
She was talking to an even bigger spider next to her, who appeared to be calling the shots for the tarantulas.
Boss, when do we get some of the soup?
You'll wait your turn. The other humans will get to sample my cooking first. Then maybe your spiders can have a chance.
Okay. Whatever you say, boss.
Now, let's get cooking.
I woke up from that terrible nightmare before I saw all the land sharks go into the cooking pot. That would have been far too scary for me, no matter how tough of a shark I was. How horrible! Now I know why there are so few of us land sharks left in the world. If sous chef had an army of spiders at her command, maybe it would be better for Hammerhead and I to keep ourselves hidden instead of going after her. On days 16 to 19, I was searching around the base for Hammerhead and couldn't find him. Hey Hammerhead, where are you? Are we playing hide and seek? There was a note left on my crafting table, so I read it.
Dear Zozo, I'm going hunting for some more food. If I don't come back before tomorrow, it probably means that I'm in trouble. Please come looking for me. You're the only friend I have in this world.
So that's where he is. He's in trouble. It had been at least a day since the last time I saw him, so going to look for him would be a good idea. I decided to go find my way to this trouble place he mentioned. Sure enough, it turned out to be a town for bandits and outlaws to the west of the desert. This place sure does look like trouble, but if my friend's here, I can't leave until I found him.
Hey, Zozo!
Hammerhead! You were easier to find than I thought.
I said I was in trouble, and here I am. Let's go drink some milk at one of these saloons. I'm paying.
We walked inside one of the saloons and saw that there was a fight breaking out between some bandits. It seemed like a group of them were ganging up on one guy. Hey, that's not fair! Leave him alone!
Sharks!
The bandits screamed and ran away. I guess the sight of a big shark and his hammerhead friend was all it took to scare them off.
Thanks for the help, fellow sharks.
Huh? You're not a shark, you're a human.
That's where you're wrong. I'm a card shark, the slickest card player in the West. Here, have this crown as thanks for saving me.
As soon as I put on that crown, I grew up again and had 22 hearts. I also gained a pretty sweet dash attack.
Thanks, Card Shark. Did you both come to trouble to hide from sous chef? I do know a rumor that you might want to hear.
Are we sure we should trust this guy?
Let's hear him out before we judge him. There's a legendary poisonous spice called the Chef Bane, which is said to ruin a cooking pot forever. If you sprinkled some of that stuff in her soup, she'd be forced to give up cooking. Then all the sharks would be safe. Wow, and you're really telling the truth? Trust me, kid, I know a thing or two. Even though it had seemed hopeless before, I now believed that there was a way to stop sous chef for good. All I had to do was find that Chef Bane. On days 20 to 22, Hammerhead and I returned to our base and found it under attack by those same bandits we scared away in trouble. This time though, there was a whole lot more of them, and they were throwing dynamite.
This will teach you nasty sharks not to mess with us bandits.
Oh yeah? Well, we're gonna teach you nasty bandits not to mess with us sharks. Right, Hammer?
Right.
Hammerhead and I worked together and took on the bandits as a team. We fought hard against the crooks, but our teamwork was too much for them, and we took them out. I was feeling so inspired by our teamwork that I had an idea. I should add a statue to the base. Things were coming along nicely, and I made some good progress on the first part. You can sort of see what it might be. I'd need to add some blue materials to get the statue's color palette just right, so I started mining to see if I could find any lapis. It would be a long way down, but I had to start somewhere. Once I gathered some stone, I decided it was time to upgrade my pickaxe. So I returned back to the base, where I crafted a stone pickaxe, which would help me mine much more efficiently. And if you want to be more efficient in finding my videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can find my channel easier. On days 23 to 26, Hammerhead and I teamed up again when our base was attacked by some super tough rock mobs. Uh-oh, those look like straddlers. We were able to defeat them, but their skin was so tough that a bunch of our teeth fell out.
Yo-yo, my teeth fell out.
Don't panic, friend. They'll grow back. As for the ones that fell out, I decided to craft a bow and make the lost teeth into shark tooth arrows. Time to go spider hunting. I hid in the desert with my dive ability and waited for some tarantulas to pass by. And when they least expected it, I jumped out and sniped all of them before they could even react. Now I can gather all the venom they dropped and make myself even more resistant to poison. I went back to the base and did just that. I had just enough time to drink another poison resistance potion before I heard someone outside asking if anyone was home. I answered it and saw that there was a frilled shark at the door. Pardon me, is this arrow yours? I found it while I was hiding in the desert. Yes, it is. Thanks for returning it. Also, would you mind if I stayed here? I've got no home and there's a chef looking for me. Of course you can. That same chef is looking for my friend and I too. We'll be safer if we stick together. I then added another floor to the base to make sure that frilled shark felt right at home. Then I added some guard towers next to the fence to make spotting incoming enemies easier. On days 27 to 31, I went back to the town of Trouble so I could get some more information out of the card shark. He was willing to do it, but only for a price. I'll sell you this enchanted cookbook for some of your teeth. It'll tell you where you might find all sorts of ingredients, including the Chef Bane. Just my teeth? You've got a deal, mister. I gave him a full set of shark teeth. In exchange, he gave me the cookbook. I opened it up and saw that one of the first locations listed inside was the Great Pyramid of Pizza. It appeared to be some kind of restaurant for rich mummies. I had a good feeling about what I could find there, so I swam off to the part of the sand sea where it could be found. When I arrived, I saw that the entrance to the Great Pyramid was guarded by a crypt keeper. He was standing next to a sign that said, "No sharks allowed." Yeah, that's not gonna stop me. I fired some arrows from a distance to draw him away from the door. Then I dove beneath the sand so he wouldn't know where I was. When the crypt keeper was looking around confused, I sprung up from the sand and gave him a big bite. He hit me before running back towards the door, but with my dash attack, I was able to bite him again and get inside the pyramid before he could stop me. He tried to follow me in, but I dove into the pyramid blocks and disappeared. He eventually gave up and returned to guarding the entrance. On days 32 to 35, I entered the grand dining hall where the mummies were being served their pizza. I used my diving ability to sneakily make my way around the room. I was hiding under a table when I saw a flying fish on a platter. It looked like he was being served so raw that he was still alive. I decided to ask him if he knew anything. Excuse me, do you know anything about a spice called Chef Bane?
Yep, I've heard of it. Sure wish I had some of it right now, so I wouldn't get eaten.
Do you know where I can find some?
Quiet down. The celebrity chef is about to make her appearance.
Celebrity chef? Oh no! Sous Chef entered the dining hall and rang a bell to call everyone to attention.
She had tarantula bodyguards with her.
Attention diners, I am sous chef, and I will be your celebrity chefs this evening. Our special is
She looked down and saw me under the table.
shark soup. Get that rotten shark.
Yikes! Sous Chef and her tarantulas ran towards me, so I used a dash attack to catch her off guard. She struck back with her cooking knife and sliced away most of my hearts. I would be sashimi if I took another hit like that, so I decided to improvise. Actually, tonight's special is tarantula salad. The mummies hungrily turned towards the tarantula bodyguards and started to attack them.
No, it isn't. Stop this.
I made a break for the exit. I hate to dine and dash, but this time I had to. While I was on my way out, the flying fish flew after me.
Wait, take me with you. I'm a carnivore too.
That's good enough for me. Welcome to the team, Mr. Flying Fish. On days 36 to 39, I convinced the others to let the flying fish stay inside of our base with us. What do you say, fellow sharks?
I thought this base was only for sharks who are hiding from the chef.
He's a fish, and we're sharks. Won't he be afraid of us?
It's fine. He can eat the rabbits we've been farming, and we have plenty for all of us. Once that was settled, I went to my room and consulted the enchanted cookbook that I got from the card shark in order to search for a new location to travel to in my search for Chef's Bane. Let's see here. The Great Pyramid of Pizza was a dead end. Oh, maybe I'll have better luck in the Marshmallow Swamp. Me and Hammerhead then proceeded to do some more work on the statue. The design was really starting to come together, thanks to the lapis lazuli I had been mining. On days 40 to 43, I was on my way to the Marshmallow Swamp when I thought I saw another land shark nearby. Hello there, my name is Zozo. Do you need a place to hide? The mob that I thought was a shark turned around and I realized that he was actually a dolphin. A land dolphin.
I'm good, thanks. I was just in the area looking for a heart of the sea. It's a kind of treasure usually found in the ocean, but for some reason, they can also be found on land in this place. It's pretty odd,
said the land dolphin to the land shark.
Point is that I did find a treasure chest with a heart of the sea inside, but there was a terrifying mantis shrimp guarding it, so I chickened out. They're all yours if you're brave enough.
Thanks for the info, Dolphin. Best of luck in your travels. I went to the place where the dolphin said he found the chest, and sure enough, the mantis shrimp was right there. Mantis shrimps were known for their lightning-fast attacks, so I knew that I had to rely on my toughness. I launched a few arrows before dashing into battle and biting away. The mantis shrimp knocked me back with a powerful strike, which did 5 hearts worth of damage, but that left him wide open. I drank a health potion and attacked him while he was recharging his attack. I did this a few more times before the mob finally fell. Alright, the heart of the sea is all mine. The door to the treasure chest opened up and I rushed in. When I opened the treasure chest, there were some prismarine blocks inside, along with the heart of the sea. Once I collected them all, I used them to craft a new shield with some of my spare shark teeth. This shield of the deep could provide me with some defense, while also draining health from enemy mobs. On days 44 to 49, I made it to the Marshmallow Swamp. It definitely lived up to its name, as there were white marshmallow blocks floating all throughout it. I took a drink from the black water, and I realized that it was coffee. It gave me a temporary energy boost and increased the distance of my dash attack. There were a bunch of pink oozes jumping around the swamp, so I used them to test out both my enhanced dash and my shield of the deep. Once I was done cleaning up the slime squad, I heard a cry for help from the swamp. It was a platypus.
Help! I wanted a drink of coffee, but I started sinking.
Don't worry, I'll help you. I dove straight into the coffee and rescued the platypus before swimming both of us to shore. It was unusual for a land shark to be swimming in liquid, but I was very grateful that it all worked out.
I, Platric Platypus, owe you my life, Sir Shark.
Please, call me Zozo. I'm on a quest searching for a legendary spice called the Chef's Bane.
Chef's Bane, You've come to the right place. You may not know this, but we platypi are experts in all things poison.
You are?
Absolutely. We're venomous creatures too. Chef's Bane is the ultimate in poisonous ingredients, but you won't find any in this swamp. We'll need to go somewhere a lot more tropical. Follow me.
With that, Platric began to lead me out of the Marshmallow Swamp. I felt like I could trust him, so I decided to follow him. On days 50 to 53, Platric and I arrived in a tropical region south of the Marshmallow Swamp. I checked the inside of the cookbook and saw that this area was called the Banana Pepper Beach and was known for growing the spiciest peppers ever known.
Look alive, Sir Shark. We're on the lookout for a very special purple pepper, which is a key ingredient for Chef's Bane.
Purple pepper, Patrick. I'll positively peek around every part of this place until I've pointed it out.
Say it, don't spray it.
We split up and searched for hints of the purple pepper. I ended up at the seashore. Wow, I just realized that I'm a shark who has never seen the ocean. I didn't have time to think about that because I noticed the crypt keeper from the Great Pyramid of Pizza running towards me. I guess I interrupted his vacation. We fought, but this time I had my shield. After a few hits, he realized his health was being drained and he ran away. He won't bother me again. A little later, Patrick and I reunited. It seemed like neither of us had had any luck finding the purple pepper.
We'll keep trying, Sir Shark. In the meantime, have a potion of poison resistance. You'll want to be practically immune when we find it.
I gulped down the potion and felt its effect make me even stronger against poison. On days 54 to 57, I returned to base to make some improvements. After swimming in the coffee swamp, I was eager to turn the oasis pool into a more tropical habitat. So I planted some banana trees to spice up the place. With the trees in place, I decided that the pool needed a diving board, so I added that along with some decorations to make it feel far more relaxing. Now I'll be a land shark and a water shark, master of both worlds. Hammerhead, Frilled, and Flying Fish all enjoyed using the diving board too. It seemed like the base was becoming more than just a hideout. It was our home, and we were family. Eventually, Frill came over and approached me.
Oh, hi Zozo.
Hey there, Frilled.
I noticed that you built the Shield of the Deep. It looks like it protects you really well, and I was hoping you could make me one too.
I would, but I need to go find another Heart of the Sea. Maybe the cookbook knows where I can find one. I returned to my room to look at the cookbook, but it wouldn't reveal the locations of the Hearts of the Sea. But it would let me know where more mantis shrimp were. It was just a hunch, but I decided to give it a shot. I made my way over to a nearby cave where I figured another mantis shrimp might be hiding. I managed to find another chest like the last one, but this time it wasn't even guarded. Lucky me! I looked inside, and there was another Heart of the Sea. Soon after, I crafted another Shield of the Deep and gave it to Frilled.
Thank you, Zozo. Here, I have some serrated teeth I can spare. If you equip them, your bite attack will be able to drain health, just like the shield.
It's an incredible upgrade. Thanks, Frilled. You rule. I put those chompers in, and I could already feel more awesome. Or should I say, jawsome. On days 58 to 62, I was making some really great improvements to the statue. It's really starting to come together. Can you tell what it is yet? Just then, I noticed that the base was swarmed by tarantulas. The tarantula leader that I saw in the flashback was there as well, so it looked like this was a planned invasion. But how did they know where we were? I thought to myself and remembered the cookbook. Card Shark, he must have sold us out. Hammerhead was right not to trust him. I ran towards the base to help the others defend it. Frilled and I both had Shields of the Deep and draining bites, so we could restore our health even as we faced getting swarmed by tarantulas.
Oh no, this poison is taking a real toll on me.
Right, I forgot. I'm the only one immune to poison. Go get some honey and cure your poison, Frilled. I'll go help Hammerhead. Hammerhead was the one I was the most worried about. He wasn't immune to poison either, and on top of that, he didn't even have a shield. By the time I got to where he was, Hammerhead was being dragged away. Hammerhead! He called out to me while the spiders took him away.
Make sure Card Shark pays for this.
Don't worry, buddy. I will. And then we'll come save you. I was so afraid. There was nothing I could do. My best friend had just been kidnapped. On days 63 to 66, I returned to the Village of Trouble in order to get back at Card Shark for selling the rest of us out. I barged into the saloon where he usually hung out and saw him in the middle of a card game. He wouldn't be for long. Hey, Card Shark, I need to talk to you.
Yeah, well, if it isn't my old shark friend, I'm surprised to see you here and alive.
You know why I'm here. You betrayed us.
Now, remember the good times we had. I gave you that cookbook, remember?
Your cookbook didn't help me at all. All it did was lead me to a bunch of dead ends. The purple peppers to make Chef's Bane weren't even where they were supposed to be.
Of course they weren't. The Spider King already picked them all, so that no more Chef's Bane could be made. It was part of his deal with Sous Chef, and this is part of my deal with her.
He started throwing poker chips at me like arrows. I raised my shield and blocked them. Then I dashed in and gave the Card Shark a well-deserved bite.
Good one, but I'm tougher than that. I am a shark, same as you.
No, not anymore. He tried punching me, but I followed up with a harsh draining bite and defeated him. That was for Hammerhead. With Card Shark defeated, I left Trouble and followed the many footprints that tarantulas left in the sand. I hoped the hammerhead was alright. I don't know what I'd do if he got turned into soup. On day 67 to 70, I tracked the tarantulas to Cobweb Castle. I knew that hammerhead could be here, as well as the purple pepper ingredients needed to make chef's bane. There were a whole lot of tarantulas around, but I was a whole lot of shark, and their poison wouldn't work on me. Fought my way to the throne room and found Hammerhead restrained in a web.
Zozo, is that you?
Don't worry, Hammerhead, I'm coming to help you. I moved closer to the throne when suddenly the king of spiders dropped down from the ceiling.
2 sharks for the price of 1. The boss is gonna be extra happy with me.
The boss is never gonna see you again, Spider King, not unless you get out of our way.
Big talk for a silly little shark. Let's go.
I leaped at the king of spiders and started biting his long, scary legs.
Ow! Is this what being bitten feels like? Can't believe I've been doing this for years.
The jagged shark teeth were too much for him. The Spider King ran off, leaving through a pathway. After that, I freed Hammerhead by shooting an arrow that destroyed the cobweb prison he was in. Hammerhead, let's check where the Spider King ran off to. Maybe the purple peppers are in there.
Good idea, Zozo.
From day 71 to day 74, Hammerhead and I entered the secret pathway that the Spider King had left through. On the inside, there was a creepy dungeon waiting for us.
Whoa, this place looks so spooky, Zozo. I don't want to spend too long here.
It'll be worth it if we can find the purple peppers and make the chef's bane, Hammerhead. But we were already too late. The purple peppers were gone, and there was a note from Sous Chef herself left in the empty dungeon.
You underestimate me and my minions, Zozo. Did you really think I'd just leave the purple peppers here? Silly little shark. Only a chef of my caliber would know what to do with such an ingredient. I'd say I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's actually very funny to me. I'll see you at dinner, my dear.
Me and Hammerhead were devastated. All this work and risk for nothing.
It's okay, Zozo. At least you saved me. Let's go back to the base and figure out what to do next.
From day 75 to day 78, I brought Hammerhead back to the base. I didn't want any more spiders to invade us at night, so I put up a new layer of defense. Hopefully a little fire will scare those creeps away. That's when Hammerhead approached me and gave me an enchanted book. What's this, Hammerhead?
It's the sharpness enchantment, Zozo. It'll make your shark teeth extra sharp and dangerous.
Oh, heck yeah, just what I need. I went inside and applied the enchantment book to my teeth. I got those extra sharp teeth just in time, because the king of spiders who narrowly escaped in the Cobweb Castle was back, and he meant business. Time to end this once and for all. As the king of spiders ran in, I lunged forward and chomped him. In one bite, he was finished off, and that made me level up. I grew into a land great white with 25 hearts and the water speed ability, which made me twice as fast in water. Even though I'm a land shark, this might come in handy later. That wasn't the only thing that the king of spiders dropped. He also had a note, which I picked up and read. It must have come straight from Sous Chef.
Once Zozo has been destroyed, find the straddler in the forest. You know what to do.
I was starting to get really sick of reading notes from Sous Chef, but at least it could be a valuable lead. From day 79 to day 84, I searched the forest for the straddler. If he was somehow connected to Sous Chef, he might be able to give me some information. Straddler? Straddler? Hello? That's when the straddler emerged out of the forest, looking irritated.
Yeah, I'm the straddler. What's it to you?
I've heard that you might have something to do with Sous Chef, the villain trying to turn me and all my fishy friends into soup. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, of course I know about that. I've been trying to take her down for years. Maybe we can team up.
That sounds great.
But first, you see that cave next to me? I need you to grab a secret weapon I left inside.
I turned and saw a cave a few feet away, and there was a secret weapon inside? Perfect. I'll be right back, Straddler. I went into the deep, dark cave and was surprised to find inside was nothing. Could there have been some kind of mistake? I went back and saw the Straddler standing in the mouth of the cave.
Sorry, kid. I worked for Sous Chef all along. You really shouldn't be so trusting.
He fired several arrows, and one of them even hit me. It was a tense moment, but I pulled out my own bow and fired back with even more accuracy. After a few arrows, the Straddler was defeated, and I was alone in the cave. Whew, I really do need to be careful about who I can trust. On day 85 to day 89, I returned to the Town of Trouble to meet somebody I thought I'd never need to talk to again. The card shark who, after I'd beaten him, was taken and locked up in the town jail. Thankfully, he was allowed visitors. I flopped down into the jail to see him.
Zozo, what the heck are you doing here? I didn't think you would ever want to see me again after what happened to your friends.
I figured after everything that happened between us, you owe me some information I can actually use.
I'm not gonna tell you nothing.
How'd you like it if I bit through the door of this cell and asked you a little closer?
Okay. What do you want to know?
Where can I find and defeat Sous Chef?
Find is one thought, defeat is another. You can find her in her kitchen on the Mushroom Island. But I warn you, Zozo, if you go to that island, you ain't coming back.
We'll see about that. This shark is never going into anybody's soup. And with that, I left the jail. There was no time to waste. From days 90 to 94, I worked on some new items and upgrades to my base. I can't take on Sous Chef without the best of the best of the best. I added a bunch of new upgrades to increase the effectiveness of my bow. Power enchantment that increases damage, and the punch enchantment, which increased the knockback power of my arrows. Hope you like your food spicy, Sous Chef. And also, to give myself a little extra boost, I made myself a few potions. A potion of healing, a potion of regeneration, and a potion of swiftness. And sharks aren't exactly fast, but this should offset that. I'm sure to win now. On day 95 to day 97, I finished the statue, a giant blue land shark, just like me. I'm very happy about how it turned out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. It made me realize something. In all of my time here, I'd only seen a handful of other sharks. There used to be so many land sharks out there, but now, because of people like Sous Chef, they were all gone. I couldn't let Sous Chef wipe us out. I needed to protect the land shark legacy and give our people a future. I'm gonna take you down, Sous Chef. You've made your last shark soup. On day 98, it was time to prepare for the final battle. I gathered all my friends together, the hammerhead shark, the frilled shark, and the flying fish. Guys, this is it. I'm gonna fight for the freedom of sharks and all fish. If I don't come back, then find Sous Chef on the Mushroom Island and defeat her for me. That's when Hammerhead Shark, my oldest friend, stepped forward.
Wait up, Zozo. I'm not gonna let you go alone.
Hammerhead, it's dangerous. She's gonna try and turn us to soup.
That's exactly why I can't let you go alone. Let's go together and finally finish this thing.
On day 99, Hammerhead Shark and I swam across the ocean until we reached the Mushroom Island. Let's go, Hammerhead. No time to waste. The island was guarded by particularly creepy creatures, mutant spider pigs. They spotted us and started to crawl towards us.
What are we gonna do, Zozo?
Don't worry, Hammerhead. I have a special weapon. I pulled out my fully upgraded bow and started firing, knocking back the mutant spider pigs. Look at that! I'm biting you without even touching you! Ha!
Zozo, over here! I found some prisoners!
I went to where Hammerhead was and saw that he had found a cage full of blobfish that Sous Chef had captured. You help them get back to the base, Hammerhead. I'm gonna defeat Sous Chef once and for all.
Good luck, Zozo. I believe in you.
On day 100, I continued alone across the Mushroom Island, looking for Sous Chef and her evil lair. Along the way, even more mutant spider pigs started rushing towards me. I used my upgraded bow to quickly dispatch them and clear the way. Will you guys get out of the way? I'm looking for your boss. After defeating the last few mutant spider pigs, I saw a secret chest on the island, with a sign next to it saying, Secret Ingredients. Hey, that sounds useful. I searched through the chest until I found a bottle labeled Potion of Evolution. I immediately added it to my inventory and kept moving. Soon enough, I found Sous Chef's true lair. She'd mined a huge crater into the ground and filled it with lava. It was the ultimate soup boiling pot, and Sous Chef was there, throwing ingredients in.
Welcome, Zozo. You're just in time. I've been working on the ultimate soup, but it's been missing something. I think it could really use a little shark to really make it pack a punch.
Oh, I'm here to pack a punch, Sous Chef, but it won't be in your soup. Sous Chef started to laugh at me, and as she laughed, she grew bigger and more powerful. She also equipped a huge diamond sword. This must have been her final form.
Big talk, but nothing to back it up. You don't even have the chef's bane. How could you possibly stop me?
Things have changed, Sous Chef. I used to want the chef's bane. Now, I am the chef's bane. I remembered my friends and got a surge of power and started to grow and change. I wasn't a land shark anymore. I was Land Megalodon, the biggest and most powerful shark in history, with 30 hearts.
You wanted shark? I'll give you more shark than you can handle. I lunged at her. She tried to hit me with her diamond sword, but her sword was nothing compared to my razor-sharp megalodon teeth.
Ouch! I was meant to eat you. You're not meant to eat me.
She tried to hit me, but I kept lunging forward and biting her. Sous Chef was stumbling backwards, losing her balance. You look a little tense, Sous Chef. Why not take a dip and cool off? With one more push from me, Sous Chef fell backwards and landed in her own soup. She was finally finished. I threw the potion of evolution into the fiery pit, which caused it to level up and change into obsidian. Now no shark will ever be cooked here again. With Sous Chef gone, I returned back to my base, where the hammerhead shark, the frilled shark, the flying fish, and the blobfish were waiting for me. Want to head out for a meal to celebrate our victory?
Sure, anything but soup.
On day 1, I spawned into the middle of the Black Forest as HEROBRINE, Minecraft's spookiest phantom. Well, a baby version of HEROBRINE anyway. But why am I here? I was on some kind of altar with a sinister robed figure standing and staring at me.
Yes, my plan worked. This is the growing sign that my powers are growing.
Plan? Powers? Who are you? And what's going on here?
You don't know the name of your master, boy. I am Dorian, the drowned necromancer, master of the undead. And you are my servant.
Servant? I didn't sign up for that. I don't even want to be a ghost. I want to have a body.
What you want doesn't matter. Without me, you wouldn't exist. And unless I choose to give you a body in the next 100 days, your spirit will fade away into nothingness. Bow to me, boy.
Never! And my name is Zozo. With all my might, I jumped out of the altar and ran off into the forest as fast as I could. I didn't want anything to do with Dorian, the drowned necromancer, and his plan to get more power. I need to work on my plan, getting my body back. When I was convinced that I'd lost Dorian, I hid under a tree for the rest of the day. As a restless spirit, I couldn't even get any rest. Being HEROBRINE sure isn't easy. On day 2, I decided to further explore the Black Forest. It was dark and spooky, the exact kind of place that a scary spirit like me would be summoned. If I wasn't a ghost myself, I'd be afraid of running into a ghost around here. And, oh geez, I only have 5 hearts. I thought ghosts were meant to be more durable than this. But I didn't have time to wallow in self-pity for long, because a gang of frightening dreadliches emerged out of the trees. Why is everyone around here so eerie?
We serve our glorious master, Dorian, the drowned necromancer. He gave us new life, so we owe everything to him.
Oh, that's just my luck! And I guess you want to kidnap me and take me back to him for his sinister plans?
Huh. We didn't expect you to already know this. I guess it saves us some explanation time at least. In the name of Dorian, we commandeer your soul!
The dreadliches punched me! With no weapons and very low health, I didn't have any hope of fighting back against them. Instead, I turned around and ran as quickly as I could. My soul, my rules! The Black Forest seemed dark and infinite, so at least it wasn't difficult to lose those nasty liches. The downside was that I'd gotten lost myself, and as I wandered through the forest, getting more and more creeped out, I ran into a siren!
Oh, another ghost! How exciting!
Wait, you can see me?
Of course I can see you. I'm a psychic. Sarah the Psychic Siren, General Services. Pleased to meet you.
So, you're not going to try to steal my soul like everyone else I've met?
Steal your soul? Heck no. I'm a huge supporter of spirits' rights. Come with me, my new ghost friend. I'll introduce you to my boss.
Finally, having met someone nice, I followed Sarah the Psychic Siren through the trees. On day 3, Sarah led me through the forest until we came upon a small cottage. A sign outside read, "Psychic Services for all ghosts." Wow, I had no idea this kind of place existed, Sarah.
There are more ghosts in this forest than you think. It's got to be someone's job to take care of them and help them along their way.
Suddenly, the front door opened and a geomancer stepped out.
Zozo, meet my boss, Jerry the Geomancer. Jerry, I found Zozo here wandering through the Black Forest like a restless spirit. He needs our help.
Is that a fact? It's nice to meet you, Zozo. Tell me, how did you find yourself in this difficult situation?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I was summoned and bound by this guy called Dorian, the drowned necromancer, and he told me that if I didn't serve him, I'd disappear in 100 days. It's got me pretty worried.
It's concerning. I've heard of many cases caused by this Dorian fellow, a truly dangerous customer. I'm gonna put Sarah on your case. She'll come and help you build a base and get situated. And together, we'll get your body back.
Thank you, Jerry and Sarah. I'm feeling better already.
Let's go, Zozo.
With the mission to get my body back decided on, Sarah and I journeyed further into the forest to get started. From day 4 to day 5, Sarah and I explored the Black Forest until we discovered an area with a nice, flat terrain. So, Sarah, what do you think we should do first?
I'd say cut down a few of these trees. That'll give you some of the wood you need to build a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe.
Great idea, Sarah! I cut down a tree and made a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe. From there, I mined enough stone to also create a stone pickaxe, axe, and a stone sword. It's difficult to hold this stuff, being a ghost, but I'll try my best.
That's the spirit, Zozo.
I cleared enough space in the forest to start laying down a basic base, collecting some extra wood along the way. It started off with a pretty basic setup, with just a room for me and a room for Sarah.
Oh, this is a nice setup, Zozo. I guess living with you technically means we're living in a haunted house.
Yeah, I guess so. Say, this is probably a pointless question to ask, but is it possible for ghosts to eat? Because I'm getting really hungry right now.
You're in luck, Zozo. I have an enchanted apple that ghosts can eat in my inventory right now. Enjoy!
Sarah gave me the apple, and I ate it. Instantly, I felt my power starting to grow. I had 20 hearts now, and I developed a new ghost ability, warping from place to place.
This is fascinating, Zozo. I feel so lucky that I'm getting to see it.
From day 6 to day 8, I went wandering around the nearby Twilight Valley, looking for more rare enchanted food. As a ghost, my ghostly hunger was really difficult to satisfy, and Sarah didn't know how to enchant more food. It kinda sucks to be a ghost. I still have a lot of the downsides of being human, plus a bunch of new downsides. But while I was wandering around the valley, I heard some commotion and ran in to see what was happening. Maybe I can help someone. In the distance, I saw a Vindicator Chef, one of the most powerful types of chefs in the world, being attacked by a nasty gang of skeleton vanguards. A chef, huh? What a stroke of good luck. I used my new ghost power to warp over there and pulled out my stone sword. With all my focus and determination, I fought all of the skeleton vanguards until none remained. It was only me and the Vindicator Chef.
You saved my life, sir. I owe you a great debt. What is your name?
I'm Zozo.
Zozo, a strong name for a strong hero. I am Victor, Victor the Vindicator Chef. And if you do a favor for me, I will repay your kindness by any means necessary.
That sounds like a good deal. What kind of favor would you like me to do?
Follow me, and I'll show you.
I followed Victor the Vindicator Chef deeper into the Twilight Valley, excited to get him on my side. From day 9 to day 10, Victor took me to a clearing in the valley where a huge mutant skeleton was waiting. Oh geez, that thing is a monster! You want me to defeat a mutant skeleton?
I believe in you, Zozo. Seeing you take down all those skeleton vanguards makes me completely confident in your ability to slay this beast. Go forth!
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Victor. I steeled myself as best as I could and warped over to the mutant skeleton. It immediately started attacking me, and I started attacking it back. But my attacks were barely doing anything, and its attacks were taking way too many hearts off of me. I gotta get out of here. I warped away from the fight and ran back to Victor, telling him the disappointing news.
Oh, well, I'm sure you tried your best nonetheless. I suppose we'll go our separate ways.
No, hear me out. I could really use a Vindicator Chef back at my base. You're the only type of chef who can cook the type of enchanted food I can eat. How about you stay at my base, and I promise I'll come back and defeat this mutant skeleton when I'm strong enough.
That sounds like a good deal to me. Lead the way, dear Zozo.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to the base with Victor the Vindicator Chef. I know it isn't much, but it's home. I'm going to make you a room.
Thank you, Zozo. I'll get working on a little something of my own in the meantime.
I got to work, gathering up new materials, and started building a new little bungalow for the Vindicator Chef to stay in while crashing at my base. What do you think, Victor?
This is a nice little room, Zozo. Thank you. And you can come and see what I made for you too. Go and check your room.
I walked over and saw that Victor had made a high-end kitchen in my base. Perfect for cooking up the kind of enchanted food I could eat. This is amazing, Victor. I'm getting hungry just looking at it.
But the kitchen is only one side of the equation, Zozo. I need some good quality ingredients. Perhaps we should build a farm on the base.
That's another excellent idea. I decided to build a little enclosure and went out into the Black Forest where I found a bunch of chickens. It wasn't hard to herd them back to my base. I can taste the eggs and fried chicken already. When I returned to my room to relax, I found that Sarah the Psychic Siren was waiting for me with some new information.
I did some research into Dorian the Drowned Necromancer, Zozo, and found some interesting information. He used to be a flesh and blood necromancer, terrorizing the overworld by raising the undead, until one day the people rose up and drowned him in the ocean. Somehow, Dorian returned, and he's been acting on his evil plans ever since.
Wow, this guy is really scary. From day 13 to day 15, I returned to Sarah once again and asked her what she thought I should do in order to get my body back.
Right now, Zozo, knowledge is power. The more we can find out, the more likely we'll be able to help you get your body back. Head out to the Twilight Valley and see what you can find out.
That's an excellent idea, Sarah. I journeyed out into the Twilight Valley, which reminded me of the time that I'd failed to defeat the mutant skeleton. Why is nothing ever easy around here? But my difficulties were only just getting started. One of the Dreadliches who worked for Dorian the Drowned Necromancer came from behind me, ready to fight me.
I serve my glorious master, Dorian the
Drowned Necromancer, yeah, I get it. Let's just fight.
Fine, but way to take all the fun out of this.
I battled the Dreadlich with all my might. He was a formidable opponent, but in the end, I defeated him all the same. And that gave me the XP I needed to level up again. I got bigger, stronger, rose up to 40 hearts, and gained a new offensive power, Lightning Strikes. Finally, some actually cool ghost powers. From day 16 to day 19, I found my way into the wooded Badlands, where I continued my search for any useful information that could help me defeat Dorian the Drowned Necromancer and get my body back. During the first couple days of my search through the Badlands, I didn't find anything, but on day 19, I happened upon a dusty, old book hidden out of the way. Yay, reading! I love that! But it wasn't just a fun reading experience that would engage my imagination, it was also a book that contained some critical information about Dorian the Drowned Necromancer. It read, like all cardinal undead, the Drowned Necromancer has a beard of ice. Therefore, he must spend most of his time in the freezing cold, and he has a severe weakness to fire. So that's two useful pieces of information. Dorian has a weakness to fire, and he must be hiding somewhere cold. I can't wait to tell Sarah about this. But my celebration was short-lived, as suddenly a couple of Dreadliches ambushed me, trying to get revenge for their friend I defeated back in the Twilight Valley. Thankfully this time, I had the power of ghostly lightning in my hands. I fired some lightning bolts at the Dreadliches until they were destroyed. I'm getting my body back no matter what. From day 20 to day 22, I continued through the wooded Badlands, feeling strong and confident about all the information I'd found recently. I ran into a nasty gang of hungry spiders and used my new lightning ability to zap them. These spiders are hardly a threat to me now. I decided that now was the perfect time to upgrade my gear, too. I searched until I found an underground cavern and looked around until I found some iron ore. I mined the ore and smelted it into some ingots, creating an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. Now I'm stronger than ever. Come to think of it, I have some unfinished business to take care of now. Remembering the debt I owed to Victor the Vindicator Chef, I returned to the Twilight Valley and hunted down that scary mutant skeleton I'd agreed to defeat. When I saw the mutant skeleton, I first unleashed a lightning strike, stunning it. Then I ran in and struck it again and again with my new iron sword until it was no more. A HEROBRINE always pays his debts. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the base to let Victor the Vindicator Chef know that I had paid my debt to him by defeating the mutant skeleton.
I can see that you've gotten strong, just like you promised you would.
That's right, and I plan on becoming even stronger, Victor. They'll start calling me Victor too, because I won so many battles.
But that's my name, Zozo. Won't that get confusing?
True, I guess I'll just stick with Zozo. After my talk with Victor, I went to the underground cavern where I could mine for more iron. With my iron pickaxe, I was able to mine the iron ore in no time. In the same area, I found a treasure chest with a bunch of iron ingots that I could use to craft a full set of iron armor. I'm like a ghostly knight. I went back above and went to see Victor the Vindicator Chef again. He said he had some news to share with me.
Zozo, I've made an addition to the base that I think you might really enjoy.
He showed me a relaxation room that was perfect for ghosts like me. You did a really good job on this, Victor. We ghosts might not be able to rest in peace, but at least now we can relax about it.
It was no trouble at all, friend.
From day 27 to day 31, I was out exploring the same area of the wooded Badlands where I defeated the Dreadliches. I came across a farmer who was jumping for joy at the sight of me. That's not the usual reaction people have for HEROBRINE, so I went over to ask why he was in such a good mood. What's got you so happy, Mr. Farmer?
It's because of you, Zozo. Those Dreadliches were a real snake in my boot. But ever since you defeated them, I've had no worries.
Glad to hear it. Slaying evil monsters and improving lives is totally my thing.
Well, there is one small worry. When those Dreadliches were still around, one of them scared off all my sheep. I needed them for wool.
I'll help you out. You can even come live at my base if you'd like.
That sounds pretty keen, Zozo.
I led the farmer back to the base, then set off through the Black Forest to find some sheep so I could gather the wool that the farmer was looking for. Taming them was easy enough, and soon there was enough wool to go around. Afterwards, I decided to do some decorating. These HEROBRINE banners will show the mobs that this base is home to one mighty ghost. With the decorations done, I found Sarah the Psychic Siren waiting inside.
There you are, Zozo. You have to leave the base with me now. It's an emergency.
What's going on?
Come on, I'll explain when we get there.
From day 32 to day 35, I left the base with Sarah and traveled through the Black Forest. Along the way, we were ambushed by a small gang of Dreadliches. Boy, does this feel familiar.
I should have seen this coming. I am a psychic after all.
We serve our glorious master, Dorian the Drowned Necromancer.
They really do say it every time, don't they, Sarah?
They sure do.
Hey, don't diss our catchphrase, or we'll have to get mean. Well, meaner.
The Dreadliches began to attack, so I zapped them with my ghost lightning strikes. None of the Dreadliches I had fought before had seen that ability, so it took them by surprise, and I was able to quickly defeat them. We traveled on, and I soon noticed that Sarah and I had come to the place where Jerry the Geomancer had resided before. This time, it was completely destroyed, and the area was full of Dorian's Dreadliches. Hey, this is Jerry's place. Get out of here!
It looks like we were too late, Zozo. This is exactly what I foresaw in my psychic vision.
I knew what Sarah meant when I saw Jerry backed against a corner. He had tried to fight the Dreadliches on his own, but he was about to die.
Zozo, is that you? It seems I won't be able to see you get your body back.
Jerry, I'm sorry. We got here as fast as we could.
Don't worry about me. Dorian will surely pay for this. Make sure you and Sarah protect each other.
We will. Rest well, Jerry. I was so enraged by Jerry's death that I destroyed the Dreadliches with my lightning strikes until there were none left in the area. From day 36 to day 39, I made a return trip back to the Twilight Valley. It hadn't changed much since the other time I was here, but there was a fisherman at the local pond who I hadn't seen before. Hello there, I'm Zozo.
Well, hi there, Zozo. I'm fishing. Oh, I'm just kidding. My name is Fred the Fisherman, and I could use a hand.
Sure, Fred. What seems to be the problem?
I know I'd be able to catch more fish if I had some twilight worms as bait, but they're all way up there in the higher parts of the valley. Can you go get a couple for me?
You can count on me, Fred. I climbed up the terrain of the Twilight Valley, enjoying the view along the way. With all that happened recently, it was nice to gather my thoughts for a moment. The moment didn't last long though, because I was attacked by a giant. Even though it was big, it had gotten the drop on me. I took a few swings with my iron sword to make it think twice. Then I warped back a short distance and hit it with a few lightning strikes. I closed the distance back into melee range and finished it off with my sword. Soon after, I returned to Fred the Fisherman with the bait he was looking for. Happy fishing. Hope you catch a big one.
Thanks. I only came here to the valley because the fishing in the ocean ain't that good anymore. Ever since that drowned necromancer rose from the sea, people have been afraid that he might have left a curse on it.
He is really evil, that Dorian. A curse on the place he was drowned. Sure sounds like him. From day 40 to day 43, I was looking at the base after coming home from my short journey and noticed that it had been redecorated to look even spookier, which for ghosts and spirits is incredibly cool. This place looks amazing!
I predicted that you would like the changes, Zozo.
Sarah, was this you? I do like it, but what was the occasion?
I wanted to invite some of my siren sisters to come live at the base. The new look is so they'll feel right at home. Is that all right with you?
Of course! If the other sirens are anything like you, then we'll all get along nicely. A while later, the other sirens that Sarah had mentioned arrived at the base. It was right at the time she had predicted that they would arrive. Hello everyone! Make yourself at home. Friends of Sarah are friends of mine.
Thanks for being so understanding, Zozo. Living at this base together always works out when we compromise.
Sure, the more the merrier. Soon after I greeted the sirens, the farmer who was also living at the base approached me so that we could talk.
Well, hey there, Zozo. You're just the ghost I was looking to see. I have another job for you, if you're willing.
Of course, I'm always willing to help a farmer in need.
I heard from some other farmers that there is a mutant Enderman running around and ruining everyone's crops. If you could take care of that mob, you'd be helping farmers everywhere.
You can count on me. From day 44 to day 49, I took up the farmer on his request and traveled to the Taiga Mountain. That mutant Enderman who was causing problems had to be around here somewhere. But it wasn't just mobs I had to worry about. Dorian was here on the mountain too, alongside a mutant zombie.
Well, if it isn't the HEROBRINE who defied me. How has the spirit been faring? You're probably close to fading away into nothingness by now.
You wish, Dorian. My ghost form has only gotten more powerful, and I will use everything I have to get my body back.
Easier said than done, Zozo. You really think getting your body back will be so simple? I was counting on your ghost to become a vengeful spirit.
Wait, what do you mean?
Do you think the restless dead can return so easily to the way they used to be? Why do you think I still carry the curse of undeath after the villagers drowned me? It's because there is no way back to life for us evil spirits.
It can't be. Have I been getting stronger for nothing?
Yes, embrace your rage and frustration. Become the monster HEROBRINE and forget about reclaiming your body. My undead will help you become what you are meant to be.
Dorian, the drowned necromancer, disappeared into a fog, leaving behind the mutant zombie to battle me. From day 50 to day 53, I started my battle against the mutant zombie that had been sent against me. My lightning strikes were proving effective, but because of what Dorian, the drowned necromancer, had said, I was starting to get worried about using my ghost powers. I switched my sword and hacked away at the mutant zombie. I didn't use my warp or my lightning strike. It made the fight a lot harder, but I had to believe that I was more than just the monster HEROBRINE. I am going to get my body back, no matter what. The mutant zombie was defeated after a big struggle, and it dropped a spellbook once it was defeated. I took a moment to examine it, and I saw a flashback to Dorian's revival. He had just emerged from the ocean as a drowned necromancer and was looking to get revenge on the people of the world for what they did to him, casting down lightning strikes in his wrath. He researched the legends of other powerful undead beings, and he eventually came across the story of HEROBRINE. It looked like he didn't just steal my body to make me into a ghost. He wanted to make me just like the dangerous and evil HEROBRINE from the stories. Maybe then, he'd finally have someone else as tortured and wicked as himself to hang out with. From day 54 to day 57, I resumed the farmer's quest to stop the mutant Enderman in the Taiga Mountain. I found the mob in the process of a rampage, and with some nervousness, I approached. Can I actually defeat this mutant Enderman without my ghost powers? The mutant Enderman sprinted at me and swiped at me with its powerful limbs. My hearts were getting low, and I was still weakened from the fight with the mutant zombie.
Is that all the great HEROBRINE can do against me? I thought you were more powerful. That's what the story said.
Believe everything you hear. I may not be the same HEROBRINE that is feared by everyone, but I am HEROBRINE myself. When I said it out loud, it made sense. I could use my ghost powers because I was the one in control of them, and I was using them to help. Take this!
Ow! Lightning strikes hurt! I thought I could be the scariest, but now I'm done for!
My ghost powers made short work of the mutant Enderman. He dropped an item upon his defeat, which turned out to be an antler headdress. With this headgear equipped, all of my attacks would gain greater knockback. What a neat upgrade. I returned to the farmer at the base and told him that I had defeated the mutant Enderman.
It seems that I can always count on you, Zozo. As a reward for getting rid of that mutant Enderman, I'll tell you a secret about Dorian the drowned necromancer.
What do you know about him?
I was there when the villagers drowned him in the ocean. His last words were a curse to everyone. He said, "Soon you'll all feel the loneliness that I have felt."
What did he mean?
I don't know, but he probably had something real evil in mind when he said it.
From day 58 to day 62, I managed to herd some more chickens into the base just to make sure we had a big enough food source for everyone. Then, I made my way deep into the underground cavern so I could do some mining for better materials. I used my iron pickaxe to dig until I struck diamonds and mined myself enough to create a diamond pickaxe. I equipped the new tool and kept mining diamonds until I had enough to craft a diamond sword, leggings, a chestplate, and boots. This new weapon and armor would serve me well in battle against the undead forces of Dorian the drowned necromancer. With my first pieces of diamond armor and gear in tow, I returned to the base, and there were now floating lanterns of ghost lights around the base. I even found that a new room had been added. Sarah had been hard at work making our haunted house into a haunted home.
This is just my way of saying thanks, Zozo. You've really been a friend to everyone after we lost Jerry the Geomancer. I feel like I could stay here for a very long time.
Thanks, Sarah. That means a lot too, because for ghosts like us, a really long time might mean eternity. From day 63 to day 66, I was down in the underground cavern making some expansions to the mine when Victor the Vindicator Chef came to see me.
Hey Zozo, I heard that you were still looking for your original body. There's a biome nearby where you may not have looked yet.
Oh really? Well, I'm glad you thought to tell me about it, Victor. I went back above ground and traveled to the place that Victor had told me about, the Wooded Badlands. I looked around for any signs of necromancy magic or a gravestone, anything that might lead me to my body. That's when I noticed a scary Gorgon sneaking up on me.
Boo!
Hey, don't say boo to me. I'm a ghost. That's our thing.
Sorry. I thought it would be fun to startle you. I didn't mean any offense.
It seemed like she meant it. That was a relief, because I thought I would have to fight this Gorgon. You're a lot nicer than you look.
I could say the same thing about you. You're the HEROBRINE, aren't you?
Sorta. I'm the new HEROBRINE. My name is Zozo.
Zozo, huh? I'm Morgan. You could still help me with a HEROBRINE quest, right?
I think so. What did you have in mind?
How you agreed. This way, a new ghost friend.
From day 67 to day 70, I followed Morgan the Gorgon through the Wooded Badlands to find out more about this HEROBRINE quest she had mentioned.
So, aren't you curious about this HEROBRINE quest of ours?
Yes, actually. I was waiting for you to tell me more.
Well, according to the scary stories about HEROBRINE, he is supposed to be the most powerful undead because of his ability to rebuild and destroy.
Rebuild and destroy?
Yes, HEROBRINE can destroy and rebuild the world however he wants, and anyone who is able to control him would be able to gain the same power.
I don't have that kind of power.
Not yet. That's why we're on this quest. You need to regain your power by facing down another being that HEROBRINE fought. That's why we're headed to the lair of the Dread Beast.
We soon arrived at a part of the Wooded Badlands where the dangerous mob, known as the Dread Beast, was known to have her lair. Come on out, Dread Beast. I am Zozo the HEROBRINE, and I challenge you. The Dread Beast soon emerged and roared with anger.
You think you're HEROBRINE? Please, I battled the real HEROBRINE in the past. You'll never be as powerful a ghost as him.
We'll see. The Dread Beast charged in, but I knocked her back with a couple slices from my diamond sword, combined with the increased knockback from the antler headdress. She tried to resist and charge at me, but I warped out of the way and brought down lightning strikes until she was defeated. From day 71 to day 74, I thanked Morgan the Gorgon for helping me learn more about the HEROBRINE from the stories and left her to travel further across the Wooded Badlands in search of my body. I was starting to get the hang of this new spooky HEROBRINE story, and I was also starting to think it was going to end up being a pretty good one. But it's not the only story that you can find on this channel, so you should look for my other videos by typing ZO into the search bar. I arrived at a rundown structure in the middle of the Wooded Badlands. I thought it maybe had something to do with how my old body might have lived. Yeah, I can feel it. I was definitely here before I was a ghost.
But that's what you are now, so why try to go back?
Dorian, it's you.
Still chasing after the past, Zozo? You will become my HEROBRINE, and I will use your powers to rebuild a world where everyone is as lonely as I've been.
That's a terrible thing to do, and I won't let you get away with it. I tried to lightning strike him, but he was immune to the damage. When I swung my diamond sword, he struck back with his own weapon, doing far more damage than I could do to him.
Fool, you actually thought I wasn't prepared to fight you. You'll get a bit stronger, but your ghost form will still fade away. Before then, I do hope you help me achieve my lonely world. What else do you have to continue on for?
Dorian, the drowned necromancer, spared my ghostly life, probably because I was still important to his plans. One thing's for sure, I need to get stronger than he ever imagined I could be. From day 75 to day 78, I kept thinking about how I should face Dorian the drowned necromancer. He had been a restless spirit for a lot longer than me, and maybe I'd have to become just as evil as him to have a fighting chance. But I don't want to be evil. I don't want to be that kind of HEROBRINE. Seeing that I was down, Sarah the psychic siren came to my room to cheer me up.
Zozo, I foresaw that you would be sad, so I made sure to give the base an almost invisible enchanted mist so it'd be hidden from attacks. That way, nobody will disturb us without us expecting it.
That's really good, Sarah. Thank you.
Let me tell you, Zozo, in my professional opinion as a psychic, I don't predict that you'll turn evil.
I hope I can live up to your predictions. I went outside for a bit to get some air, and shortly after, Victor the Vindicator chef joined me with a fresh new magic cake that he had just baked.
Give this a try, Zozo. I think it might just pick you up.
Thanks, Victor. I gobbled up the cake and felt a transformation coming on. I doubled in size, and my heart gauge increased to contain 80 hearts. Victor sure knows how to cook. From day 79 to day 84, I went back to the wooded Badlands to see if I could face Dorian the drowned necromancer again. I knew this whole thing would be over if I could just shut him down. Dorian wasn't here himself, but it seemed like he might have used some of his necromancy to mobilize a few random skeletons to fight me. With my lightning strikes, I was easily able to blow away these weak undead. I wasn't satisfied with the amount of searching I'd done here, so I examined the structure more closely. That's when I noticed doors that led to a dwelling where a pink pixie was staying. Hello there, I'm Zozo. Do you know anything about who used to live here?
Yeah, I do. There was a village here that was destroyed by storms, a blizzard, and a thunderstorm. There was only one surviving villager, and he was really alone.
Was that villager HEROBRINE?
Yeah, this is the place where HEROBRINE's story began. The land has been cursed, and plants have never grown as well here since.
It's just like that curse that Dorian put on the ocean. I've got to put the hero in HEROBRINE and find a way to lift both of those curses.
This may help you in your journey, Zozo.
Pixie gave me a netherite helmet, an extremely durable piece of armor that would certainly give me a fighting chance the next time I saw Dorian. From day 85 to day 89, I returned to my base, excited to show my friends the awesome netherite helmet I'd been given. Instead, I found a bunch of dreadliches invading my base, trying to find and attack those same friends. Oh, I can't let this slide. I don't want to overuse my ghost powers, but for the sake of my friends, it's a risk worth taking. I started firing lightning blasts left and right, destroying them quickly and dropping their morale. The rest saw my skills and took off running, but I wasn't going to let an attack on my own base slide. I came running after them. But while chasing them, I ran into a troll who seemed to be crying. As much as I wanted revenge, I didn't want to leave a clearly distressed guy on the hook like that. So I asked him what was wrong.
I've been working on my novel, but I can't seem to get through it. I'm losing confidence in myself.
You can do it, Mr. Troll. Just believe in yourself and try to get past the first draft. I'll be excited to read it when it's done.
Thank you, kind stranger. I'll never forget this.
From day 90 to day 94, I followed the surviving dreadliches into the snowy plains. It was freezing. I remembered what I had read about Dorian before. He needs to be cold. He must be hiding somewhere out here. I'm on his territory now. But I couldn't afford to worry about that just yet. I needed to track down and defeat those liches. Eventually, I caught up to them. They must have gotten exhausted and stopped. I finally had my chance. You guys are gonna pay for attacking my base!
Oh, Zozo, you're so naive! Dorian knew everything. He predicted exactly what you'd do. And now you're going to get destroyed.
You've never been able to destroy me before. What makes you guys think you're gonna be able to do it now?
Oh, it won't be us, Zozo. It'll be him.
A huge, terrifying Dread Knight stepped out, and the Dreadliches all ran off. He must have been one of Dorian's most dangerous henchmen yet. Even as a ghost, I think I'm gonna ache after this one. From day 95 to day 97, I went head-to-head with the Dread Knight, and he was as fast and as powerful as I'd feared. And as the battle went on, I was worried I might be doomed, until I got a second wind and fought back with all of my might. Soon enough, I defeated even the terrible Dread Knight, the deadliest of Dorian the Drowned Necromancer's henchmen. I'm stronger than I've ever been, but does this mean I'm doomed to become evil and end up serving that monster? But my worried thoughts were interrupted by a new discovery. When the Dread Knight was defeated, he dropped a notebook containing instructions direct from the enemy. Destroy Zozo. He is unworthy of the title of Herobrine. Return to the Ice Cave when you are done. If you need anything extra to finish the job, check the chest behind the broken boulder. So now I knew that Dorian was hiding in some kind of ice cave, and that note about the chest really intrigued me. I searched the snowy plain until I found a boulder that looked half shattered, and then I found a chest behind it. And inside the chest was a battle axe. This belongs to Dorian. I can't wait to give it back to him. On day 98, I returned to my base to tell everyone who'd helped me how all of this was going to unfold. For all I knew, it might be my final chance to speak with them. Guys, I wanted to thank all of you for how much you've helped me. I never could have gotten this far without you. This final part is so dangerous that I have to do it alone. Dorian is more powerful than ever, but I'd rather be destroyed than let him use me as an evil tool.
There's no way he'd destroy you, Zozo. You're too powerful and too good-hearted. And in the end, the good guys always win, and the bad guys always lose.
Here, here. After you defeat him, Zozo, I'll bake a mighty cake that we can all enjoy.
And I'll farm all the best quality ingredients. You've got this, Zozo. I have full confidence in you.
You're all the best. I'm gonna defeat him for you, all of you, and I'm going to get my body back. On day 99, I ventured back to the snowy plains with everything I needed to finally take on the big, bad beast of a necromancer who stole my body. It's time for me to show you the door, Dorian. Didn't actually take me that long to find the ice cave that was Dorian's hideout because I spotted a large guard force of Dreadliches waiting outside, keeping a lookout. Talk about an undead giveaway. There were so many of them, and they looked better armed and armored than usual. Dorian must have known I was coming and put them here to slow me down before the final battle. It's an ingenious plan. What can I do?
I think I may be of service.
I turned and saw that Morgan the Gorgon was behind me. Morgan, what are you doing here?
Sorry for following you. I was gonna yell boo again, but it didn't seem like the right moment. I feel like I've been missing out on all the action. Let me distract these undead creeps, and you can go in there and take down the big bad guy.
Sounds like a great plan, Morgan. Let's do this. On day 100, while Morgan was distracting the Dreadliches outside, I entered the ice cave and found Dorian the Drowned Necromancer waiting for me.
You made it through my servants. How?
It's because I don't have servants. I have friends.
Oh, spare me all that self-righteous foolishness. You can't talk your way out of serving me. I brought you back. I bound you. You belong to me, Zozo, and nothing will change that.
I'm going to keep fighting, no matter what, for myself and my friends. And when I'm done, all you're going to be is a bad memory.
Then let's see. Time to go back to the void, silly little ghost.
I unleashed everything I had onto Dorian, not giving up, even as he fought back against me. I could tell as the battle went on, he was getting weaker and weaker. I pulled out the battle axe that Dorian had left for his Dread Knight to destroy me. I'm sure the void will welcome you, Dorian. And with one more strike, Dorian was no more. There was a tremendous flash, and in the moment that Dorian was destroyed, my body was returned to me. Wow, it feels amazing to be back. On day 1, I rose out of the ground as a baby warden skibidi toilet. Whoa, this is one of the weirdest creatures I've ever been. Still, 6 hearts. I better play it safe. Suddenly, a gorilla came rumbling towards me across the plains.
Invader! Invader! You're not meant to be here!
That didn't sound like a welcome wagon, so I turned my porcelain tail and ran off at massive speeds. That just rang the alarm bell though. More gorillas came charging in, forming a dangerous chase party. I climbed further up the plateau, managing to lose the gorillas. But the chase exhausted me. I really spawned into the wrong area here. What's going on out here? I feel like there's something I'm forgetting, but I can't remember what I forgot. Boom! The ground next to me exploded, and an even bigger, stronger gorilla crawled out of the hole.
Freeze right there! You move one step and I'll destroy you. Wanna live? Follow me, or else.
On day 2, the big gorilla led me across the plateau. Whatever you think I did, I didn't do it, I swear. I'm a completely innocent warden skibidi toilet.
Look, kid, I don't trust wardens, and I don't trust whatever a skibidi toilet is. Want this to go smoothly? All you've got to do is literally everything I say.
Well, I guess that's a pretty compelling argument. He took me to some kind of outpost near the top of the plateau, leading me through the complex. They eventually threw me into a dark, dingy cell in the back.
You better behave, toilet boy, or you're gonna get yourself flushed.
Lucky for me, I wasn't alone in the cell. There was a squat little mungus waiting in there for me. Hey, Mungus, I'm Zozo. What are you in here for?
Somebody accused me of being an imposter, even though I'm not. It's a unique form of discrimination that we munguses have to deal with.
Oh, that's horrible. A similar thing happened to me. I don't even really know why I'm here.
You're certainly not gonna find your memories here in some goofy gorilla prison. We've gotta get out of here. Do skibidi toilets have any special powers?
I don't know, but wardens sure do. That's when I remembered how to warden treat and use it to bust on the wall of our cell. Mungus and I escaped, running off in different directions into the night. Now I can start working on getting my memories back and finding out why I'm really here. On day 3, I continued wandering through the plateau, trying my best to avoid any angry gorillas who wouldn't be happy that I'd escaped. In the epic battle of gorilla versus toilet, I personally wouldn't bet on the toilet. But rather than a gorilla, I instead encountered some cows, which made me realize I'm soon gonna get hungry. Using my high-precision warden shrieks, I blasted one of the cows, then swooped in to take my fill of the delicious beef. Okay, that's something I know about myself now. I enjoy tasty meat, just have to cook it first. I heard a rattling behind me and turned. There was a gang of skeletons coming towards me. Oh no, skeletons don't have any meat on them at all. I'm doomed. With my warden shriek still recharging, I was defenseless and outnumbered. But before the skeletons could get me, a huge lightning bolt came down and destroyed them all. Oh my gosh, what just happened? That's when I turned and saw him. The glorious sight of a tall man with a TV set for a head. He'd fired the lightning bolt and saved my life.
Come with me if you want to not die.
From day 4 to day 5, I followed the TV man into the Shattered Glaciers, a freezing and treacherous biome. Man, anyone who lives here must be one tough cookie. I can feel my bones rattling inside my toilet. We arrived at an equally cool pad where the TV man must have lived. It was easily one of the hippest homes I'd ever seen. Thank you again for saving my life, TV man. I'm Zozo. What can I possibly do to repay you?
The name's Ray, Cathode Ray. And it's no biggie. I save people all the time. I'm a hero. It's kind of my thing.
That's awesome, Ray. Could I be a hero just like you? I don't know what exactly I am, so maybe a hero would be a cool thing to become.
I've got it pretty covered, little toilet. But maybe, with some training, you could have some potential.
Training, yes! I can move in with you and—
With me? No. Little fella, Cathode Ray rolls alone. Here. Take these and go make yourself a place. We'll talk in a couple days.
Cathode Ray, the TV man, gave me my first set of stone tools and a stone sword. I left his base and ventured further up the treacherous Shattered Glaciers. When I found some solid ground on top of a mountain, I was curious to find warped trees here as well. This must be a sign. They look blue just like me. This is it. This is the location for my base. I mined enough material to start building myself a pretty basic house with 1 bedroom and a furnace so I could finally cook these steaks. Nothing is better than a warm piece of steak. This place isn't much, but it's mine.
Not for long, you stinky toilet!
I turned and saw that one of the gorilla guards had somehow followed me here. He wasn't interested in conversation. He wanted to fight, and I needed to defend myself. When he ran in, I blasted him with my Warden shriek, then finished him off with my stone sword skills. That gave me enough XP to level up, becoming a bigger, more combat-effective Warden toilet with 14 hearts and an inbuilt fireball cannon. Oh yeah! Now I'm looking fire! From day 6 to day 8, I was heading back to tell Cathode Ray about the new power I'd gained, but in the process, I ran into my old prison buddy, Mungus. Hey, Mungus, how have things been swinging for you? I didn't expect to see you out here.
Been better, man. Everywhere I go, people keep thinking I'm an imposter. It's really starting to affect my self-esteem.
That's terrible, Mungus. I wonder why people around here are so distrusting. I continued on to Cathode Ray and asked him the same question.
It doesn't surprise me to hear that, Zozo. You know, there are a lot of folks out here who really can't be trusted. It's why my work as a hero is so incredibly valuable.
How can I start doing valuable hero work, Ray? I can shoot fireballs now, and I want to prove myself.
If you go to the Stony Peaks, you'll find a deadly yak who's been causing a lot of trouble for the locals. May be perfectly suited to this job. Send a Warden toilet to defeat a Warden toilet, I always say.
Of course, Ray. Thank you for this opportunity. I won't let you down. With my new mission, I set off across the glaciers towards the Stony Peaks. From day 9 to day 10, I first made my way out to the Stony Peaks. It was a terrain so harsh and unforgiving, it made the shattered glaciers seem downright cozy. I was constantly paranoid that with one wrong move, I'd fall over and get injured, or worse. But after carefully navigating the difficult slopes of the Stony Peaks, I saw the monstrous yak in the distance. I drew my sword and carefully approached. Time for a surprise attack. I shot a fireball at the vicious yak. It turned, ready to attack.
Traitor! Perish for your treachery!
I fought the creature with my sword, but it was really strong, knocking a bunch of hearts off of me. In the end, I shot another fireball at the monster, and it blew him off the edge of the cliff. He was gone, but it left me badly injured in the process. Oh no, I don't think I'm gonna make it out of here. But a friend of mine was about to come in clutch. That's right, Mungus had found me.
Zozo, I heard someone was in trouble. I never knew it'd be you. Yeah, take this healing potion and some steaks. You look like you need it.
I truly did. I took the potion and was healed. Thank you, Mungus. I really appreciate that. What are you doing out here?
Something's going on, Zozo, something big. Wanna come with me to help look into it all?
I would, but first, I need to go tell my mentor about my victory here today. I'm on the up and up. From day 11 to day 12, I returned to Cathode Ray, excited to tell him about my victory against the diabolical Warden toilet spider.
Well done, little toilet dude. You've proven that you've got the makings of a hero in you.
Thank you, Ray. It's an honor to hear that from you.
For your next step on the road to heroism, I have another challenge for you. Even deeper in the dark shadows of the Stony Peaks, I need you to find and destroy the Hell Rat. It's every bit as frightening as the name suggests.
Sheesh, that sounds pretty scary.
That it is, my friend. That it is. I recommend you upgrade your armor and weaponry. Good heroes don't take chances.
Good advice, Ray. I scoured the shattered glacier until I found a deep mining cavern. I searched inside, getting deeper and deeper into the dark until I found a dusty old crate. Inside was exactly what I needed. Some pieces of iron armor, an iron sword, and an iron pickaxe. The miners must have left this behind when the place was abandoned. I didn't get to keep my new gear pristine for long because soon enough, the mine was crawling with gorilla guards.
You never should have come here.
But I wasn't as weak as I used to be. I held my own against the gorillas until they were forced to retreat. Nobody defeats a hero. From day 13 to day 15, I returned to the Stony Peaks with my new iron weapons and armor plating, ready to take on the terrifying Hell Rat. I searched high and low for the Hell Rat's nest, terrified that at any moment it might pop out and destroy me, just like Cathode Ray had told me. But when I eventually found a cute little hut, and inside, I was astonished to find the Hell Rat. But it didn't seem threatening or scary at all. It seems like a pretty innocent, if slightly strange-looking, rat. Hey, you don't seem particularly hellish. Why do they call you the Hell Rat?
Oh, it's because I come from Hell, the unincorporated community in Livingston County, Michigan.
Oh, I suppose that does answer a lot, but not why Cathode Ray sent me here. Sorry for bothering you, Mr. Rat. I could smell a rat, and it wasn't the hell rat. I needed to make my way back to the shattered glaciers with no time to waste. From day 16 to day 19, I returned to the cold, lonely world of the shattered glacier. Cathode Ray has some serious questions to answer. Sending me to hassle innocent rats from Michigan doesn't seem like something a hero would do. But when I arrived at Ray's pad, it was empty, not a soul in sight. Until I heard footsteps behind me. I panicked and turned around, only to see Mungus standing right behind me. Mungus, what are you doing here?
I was just about to ask you the same thing. I've been tracking the imposter who's been causing trouble across the server, and whom everyone keeps blaming me for. All signs point to here.
Here? That's impossible, but oh no, the hell rat, he's in danger! Before Mungus could ask any follow-up questions, I hightailed it out of the shattered glacier and made my way back to the stony peaks. When I arrived, I searched desperately for the place where I'd found the hell rat, but by the time I did, it was too late. Just Cathode Ray standing in an empty crater. Ray, what have you done?
What you were too weak to do, apparently. You can't even stomp some silly rat.
Why would I want to? He was innocent.
Innocent is just a point of view. Who's innocent, really? I'm sure he did something at some point that made him deserve getting vaporized by me.
If that's how you think, then you're not a hero at all.
I am a hero, Zozo, and if you're against me, that can only mean you're a villain. Let me show you what I do to villains.
Cathode Ray summoned up a huge lightning bolt, and before I could do anything, he fired it at me, and everything went black. From day 20 to day 22, I finally woke up, my damaged toilet body lying among the broken stone of the peaks around me. Somehow, I'd survived. Why didn't Cathode Ray completely destroy me?
Because I stopped him.
I turned and saw my old prison friend, Mungus, walking towards me.
What? You're the first person who believed in me. You think I'd let that TV-headed creep destroy you? No way.
I can't believe he used me like that. I thought he was a hero. I thought I was a hero.
You still can be, Zozo. Let's go back to your base. Together, I think we can defeat this guy and show the world who he really is.
You're right, Mungus. It's the only way. We went back to my base, and we tore down the old base so we had enough space for the new build. I mined up enough raw materials to construct a new building with a room for Mungus to stay in, complete with a bed and couch. You can't really tell what this place will be, so make sure to watch a bit longer to find out as I will finish the base. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the Savannah Plateau, wanting to see everything with a fresh perspective. Everything with Cathode Ray has got me reconsidering my whole life. But I didn't have time to brood. I saw an undead ostrich getting chased around by a terrifying dark manicore. This looks like a situation where I can prove myself as a real hero. I stormed in, blasting fireballs and warning shrieks at the dark manicore while the undead ostrich was out of the picture. It didn't take long for the manicore to relent, and I finished it off with my iron sword. Afterwards, the undead ostrich came out of hiding and approached me.
You saved my life! That was so heroic!
Thank you. I'm trying my best, despite not having a great teacher.
Your best saved me! So in exchange, here, take some of my power and ascend to greater heights!
The ostrich fired an energy blast at me, and I felt myself getting bigger and stronger. Soon enough, I had 26 hearts and a new ability, Smash! I tested it out, smashing a huge crazy crater into the ground. Okay, this will be useful later. From day 27 to day 31, while heading back across the Savannah Plateau towards the Shattered Glacier, I encountered a group of chickens. Even a Warden Skibidi toilet enjoys some nice fried chicken. I lured the chickens back into the Shattered Glacier and decided I needed to build a pen for them. Before I could do that, I decided to finish up the rest of the base so I can put them in just the right spot. I poured my heart and soul into it. I just hope no one flushes it down. Can't deny the resemblance is uncanny. If you think it looks good, make sure to subscribe so you can see my other amazing builds. As I was taking in the views, the Mungus approached me.
Great work, Zozo. Some chicken is exactly what we need. Also, speaking of food, I took the liberty of making us a pantry. We can store excess chicken there.
I looked and saw the well-stocked pantry and fully equipped kitchen that Mungus had created. Good job to you too, Mungus. This base is coming along nicely now. Meanwhile, back in Cathode Ray's icy chill pad of evil, he was consulting with his most powerful henchman, the Speakerhead.
So you see, Speakerhead, this Zozo needs to be destroyed for the greater good. We can't have a good world with that Skibidi Warden menace in it.
Of course, Mr. Ray. Everybody wants to rule the world, but you're the only one who I trust to see it through.
Then go out there and do what needs to be done. He's the only thing standing in the way of our plans.
From day 32 to day 35, I returned once again to the Savannah Plateau. More specifically, I returned to the gorilla base where I'd first been imprisoned. If I thought these guys were evil while I thought cathode ray was good, then maybe I had the wrong idea all along. When I arrived at the gorilla base, the huge gorilla who'd first captured me appeared to stand guard.
You've got some nerve coming back here, Toilet. After everything you've done, I ought to destroy you right now.
Wait, I was misled, and I think you were misled too. I'm on your side. Let me speak to the boss gorilla.
The boss gorilla isn't actually a gorilla. Come with me. If you try anything funny, I'll hammer you into the ground like a tent peg.
The big gorilla directed me inside. I followed his instructions down the hallway until I saw the strangest thing, a floating redstone cube. My goodness, who are you?
Me? I am the Cube of Wisdom, the source of all good and righteous knowledge. And if you had spoken to me earlier, I could have told you that Cathode Ray, the TV man, was nothing but a sham.
Yes, I'm sorry. I know that now. He's a villain who believes he's a hero, but I want to be a real hero. Together, between me, my friend Mungus, and you and your gorilla forces, we can take down this monster.
That's the wisest thing you've said all day, Zozo.
From day 36 to day 39, knowing the danger of the threats against me, I searched the shattered glacier yet again until I found another abandoned cave. I searched deep within until I found some more abandoned pieces of iron armor, which I quickly equipped. Using my smash power to bust through the stone further, I found a small vein of diamonds, which I mined with my iron pickaxe. Not enough to make anything yet, but these will come in real handy when I find more of them. I returned to my base with my spoils, where Mungus was waiting for me with good news.
Zozo, I crafted some weapons for you while you were gone. Javelins. They should be super effective.
Oh, that's awesome, Mungus. This will make me an even more formidable opponent at long range. I left the edge of my base to practice my throwing skills with my new selection of javelins, when suddenly a gibbon approached.
Be not afraid.
Don't worry, I wasn't.
Okay, let's see, what was the message? I'm an envoy from the Primate Kingdom. My master, the Cube, wishes to speak to you at a secure location in the Twilight Valley. You must journey there at once.
It sounded like there was no time to delay. I turned tail and made my way in the direction of the Twilight Valley. From day 40 to day 43, I arrived in the spooky and mysterious Twilight Valley. Following the instructions given to me by the gibbon, I found a small shack where the redstone cube of wisdom was waiting for me. What's up, Mr. Cube? Why so cloak and dagger? Is everything okay?
There's an urgent matter that must be attended to, Zozo. My spies in Cathode Ray's inner circle tell me that he's dispatched one of his most dangerous agents. Speak ahead.
What's so dangerous about him?
He's a highly skilled and lethal warrior. He's absolutely loyal to Cathode Ray and his cause, and he absolutely hates Skibidi toilets. I must leave now, Zozo, but stay safe. You are in grave danger.
The redstone cube teleported away, leaving me alone in the Twilight Valley. Or so I thought. The shack exploded, and the speaker head was standing there, wielding a huge sword.
There you are. Time to meet your doom, Toilet. All for freedom and for pleasure.
Without delay, I started firing my warden shrieks and fireballs at him, but there was no effect. He ran at me with his sword and devastated me with one strike. All I could do was turn and run for my life.
I'll get you, Zozo. Nothing ever lasts forever.
From day 44 to day 49, I was resting and recovering at my base from my encounter with Speakerhead. I was lucky to get out of there alive. Speakerhead wasn't planning on taking prisoners. He was every bit as terrifying as the redstone cube suggested, so it made sense that the redstone cube would appear next to me in my time of need. You weren't kidding, Cube. That Speakerhead guy is a real demon.
Be that as it may, I believe I have a solution for you, Zozo. A weapon that may be capable of destroying that diabolical false hero once and for all.
I'm all ears.
A blowgun, an ancient tribal weapon wielded by a great warrior. It's said to have special powers when used by a true hero in the name of justice.
Sounds perfect. Where can I get it?
I'm not sure yet. You will need to seek out the information. Return to the Stony Peaks and seek out other wise creatures. They will give you the knowledge that you seek.
From day 50 to day 53, I had fully recovered from the stress of my battle with Speakerhead. I ventured out into the stony peaks, wanting to find the wise creatures that the redstone cube had spoken of. I'm lucky I don't have any legs, or they'd be getting really tired right about now. When I'd reached the highest peaks of the stony, peaks, I found a wise old spider pig waiting for me.
Welcome, my son. I am the great spider pig who sits at the center of the cosmic web of knowledge. I can answer but one question of every person. What is your question, Warden Toilet?
I seek the power to defeat evil. Where can I find the legendary ancient blowgun?
It will not be easy, my boy. The blowgun lies in the Chamber of Destiny, deep inside the Cynthian Torrids. It is guarded by a terrible beast. You will need to be incredibly strong to fight it.
A terrible beast. Great. For a second there, I was worried this whole thing would be too easy. From day 54 to day 57, I returned to the Savannah Plateau, hoping to share everything I'd learned with the Redstone Cube. But on the way, I was intercepted by a familiar and terrifying foe, Speakerhead.
Well, if it isn't my least favorite Warden Toilet, Zozo.
Speakerhead, what are you doing here?
I've been listening to you all the way since the spider pig. My master wants me to collect intelligence on you and everything you're doing. But I won't even need that information if I destroy you right here.
Threw some javelins at him and tried to hit him with my fireballs, but he was too strong.
My turn.
Pulled out a destroyer and with one whack, blasted a huge crater in the earth. I was lucky to have escaped with my life. Meanwhile, back at his base in the shattered glacier, Cathode Ray was receiving the information that Speakerhead had stolen.
The Scythian Torrids. Interesting. Then it means the blowgun must be guarded by the High Reaver. Perhaps I'll let Zozo deal with that one. He could always use the practice.
From day 58 to day 62, I was at my base, having at least survived a second encounter with the Speakerhead. I need some kind of advantage. I can't afford to let him get the jump on me again. I might not be so lucky. I was pulled out of my pessimistic thoughts by Mungus, who strolled over to me with obvious excitement.
Zozo, I've been working hard building things while you were gone. I added in a little yard, a bathroom, and a new crafting area, complete with a furnace.
Oh, that's genius, Mungus. Just the thing I needed. If I want some new gear, I'm gonna need to forge it myself. With this in mind, I went back to the same mining cavern I'd visited before and dug even deeper into the darkness, using my smash power to go deeper a lot faster than I would with just a pickaxe. Eventually, I found an even richer vein of diamonds and harvested as many as I possibly could. Then, I took them back to the base and put Mungus's crafting room to good use. I forged myself a diamond sword, a diamond pickaxe, and a few pieces of diamond armor. Now I'm a force to be reckoned with! From day 63 to day 66, I heard a great crackling outside my base, like something of immense power had arrived. I walked outside the base and saw the Redstone Cube of Wisdom waiting for me on my decorative toilet.
Zozo, it is time. We must travel together to the edge of the shattered glacier. There we can find the portal to the Scythian Torrids, where the sacred blowgun awaits the arrival of its prophesied user. That, Zozo, is you.
Then we have no time to waste. Lead the way! I followed the floating cube across the shattered glacier until eventually we reached the impressive-looking portal stand.
Something is wrong, Zozo. The portal, it isn't active.
Then what do we do?
Keep searching. There must be some kind of key. Someone out there has it. We just need you to get our hands on it. Well, we don't have hands, but you get the idea.
From day 67 to day 70, while waiting and planning my next steps on the toilet, I was visited by someone I hadn't had the best relationship with, the big gorilla.
Zozo, you know I wouldn't come to you if I wasn't desperate, but some unknown force has been fighting my men in the Twilight Valley while we try to search for the key to the Cynthian Torrids.
And I'm guessing you want me to come in there and fight it?
Yeah, pretty much. But you better not gloat about it.
Cause I'm a nice guy, I didn't gloat. Just flushed the toilet and made a beeline for the Twilight Valley, where I saw what had been giving the gorilla so much trouble. A cosmically powerful Shiba Inu.
Be gone, intruder! You will never get your hands on the key! Leave my valley!
Wait, listen to me!
If you use this key for evil, I will—
Listen! I'm not here to do evil. I'm here to stop it. You said something about a key? Is it the key to the Scythian Torrids?
Yes, the very same.
I seek the blowgun from the Chamber of Destiny.
For what purpose do you seek it?
I wish to obtain the blowgun and use it to defeat the evil known as Cathode Ray.
That is a noble goal. The key is yours. If you misuse it, I'll destroy you myself.
Shiba Inu disappeared, leaving behind a magical-looking key, which I immediately picked up. I'm one more step closer to completing my quest. From day 71 to day 74, I was returning to my base, excited to tell Mungus about the key. But I had bigger things on my mind. Speakerhead was back, and he was destroying my base.
You're too late, Zozo. I know everything. You can't stop us now.
I can tell you're a speakerhead even from a distance, because you're such an annoying loudmouth.
Don't get mad, Zozo. Get even. If you're brave enough, I'll be waiting near Ray's pad. Come and get some, loser.
Speakerhead laughed and disappeared. Then, Mungus came out of hiding to speak to me. How did he cause us much damage, Mungus?
He used his destroyer, an incredibly powerful weapon.
Darn, that man is such a thorn in my side.
It doesn't need to be all bad, Zozo. Maybe if you go and destroy Speakerhead, you'll get his destroyer. Then you can use it in the Scythian turrets to get the blowgun.
That's a great idea, Mungus. But are you sure you'll be okay here alone?
I can handle myself, Zozo. I'll rebuild the base while you're gone.
Then it looks like we've got a plan. Little did I know, all of this was part of Cathode Ray's grand plan.
Once he's dispatched dear Speakerhead, he'll be strong enough to enter the Scythian turrets. Then, the blowgun will be mine, and nothing will be able to stop me.
From day 75 to day 78, I was preparing for the battle with Speakerhead when the Redstone Cube of Wisdom came to impart some of his trademark wisdom.
Fight hard out there, Zozo. We're all counting on you.
Thanks, Redstone Cube. Is that it? And then he left. From day 79 to day 84, I wasted no time in charging to the dark depths of the Shattered Glacier. Speakerhead, you will face me in single combat. That was clearly enough to summon him because Speakerhead immediately appeared. It was almost too perfect.
Ready to be destroyed, Zozo? Well, clearly you are, since you're here.
Please stop talking. I'd rather just fight. I charged at Speakerhead, wielding my diamond sword. Even with the aid of my powers, I was so hopelessly outmatched.
Face it, Zozo, you're doomed. You can't beat me.
That's when I suddenly felt a surge of energy coming up from the key the Shiba Inu gave me. The power to fight against evil. I evolved into a Warden Spider Skibidi toilet. I was bigger, stronger, and suddenly had 100 hearts and the ability to shoot lasers. Speakerhead was so shocked.
What? No, you can't do that.
Seems like I can. Bye-bye, Speakerhead. With a supercharged blast of my laser attack, Speakerhead was destroyed once and for all. In his place was the destroyer, which I picked up immediately. Just you and me now, Ray. From day 85 to day 89, I returned to the base with the destroyer and the key. And with 100 hearts, I was finally ready to go to the Scythian turrets. I'm ready to do this, Mungus.
So glad, Zozo. And look, I repaired the base.
I turned and saw that Mungus was true to his words. The base had been rebuilt. Everything was coming up roses. The one thing left to do is go claim the blowgun. Then we can defeat Cathode Ray and end all this horror. My heart filled with determination, I made my way towards the portal standing deep in the Shattered Glaciers and used my key to open it. Scythian Torrids, here I come. I immediately felt the dark, dry heat of the Torrids on the other side. It was a sinister place, filled with molten lava and strange unknown creatures. After hours of wandering, I found a large, distinct structure that must have been the Chamber of Destiny. There's the chamber. Let's go see the beast. I walked into the chamber, which was deceptively quiet at first, until a huge, terrifying High Reaver leaped out. Oh, there's the beast. It took everything to be able to defeat the High Reaver. The blade of my diamond sword, my fireballs, my javelins, my laser eyes, and of course, the destroyer. It was a hard battle, and I lost plenty of hearts. But in the end, the High Reaver was defeated, and the blowgun was left on the ground. Cathode Ray, you've got a big storm coming. From day 90 to day 94, I left the Chamber of Destiny with the blowgun in hand. With this, I'd finally be able to destroy Cathode Ray once and for all. But before I could find my way to the portal, I was hit by a lightning that completely paralyzed me from the neck down. The blowgun fell out onto the floor. Oh no, who could have done this? Unsurprisingly, Cathode Ray emerged from the darkness. He had total power over me.
So, it has come to this. You know, Zozo, we could have worked well together. Imagine the heroics we would have accomplished together.
You've never done anything anything heroic in your life, Ray. You're just a villain who's lying to himself.
You're going to regret this, Zozo. If you're not with me, then you're my enemy. I'd destroy you right now, but I want you to live long enough to see my revenge play out in full.
While I couldn't move, he built a stone cage around me, trapping me within. By the time I could move again, cathode ray was long gone. From day 95 to day 97, I tried different methods to bust down the walls of the prison that cathode ray had built around me. Out of all the power-ups, only the destroyer worked. But there was no time to waste. I needed to get back to the Savannah Plateau immediately and warn the Redstone Cube of Wisdom. When I was back in the overworld, I ran as fast as I could until I reached the plateau. But I wasn't fast enough. The gorilla outpost base had been left in ruins, and all the gorillas were gone. All that was left was the heavily injured Redstone Cube of Wisdom.
Zozo, cathode ray went on a cathode rampage. He's cleaning house, trying to destroy everyone he can.
Oh no, this is all my fault. I gave him the blowgun. He'll be invincible.
He has one weakness, Zozo. Because he has a TV for a head, he doesn't have a mouth, so he can't actually use the blowgun. Get it back, Zozo, and use it to bring Ray's reign of terror to an end.
The Redstone Cube passed away, leaving me alone on the cold and dusty plateau. On day 98, I made a beeline back to my base. I needed to warn Mungus so he didn't end up like the gorillas or the Redstone Cube of Wisdom. When I saw the state of my base, I feared I was too late. Everything Mungus and I had worked on was destroyed. Cathode Ray had almost annihilated the base. Oh no, did he destroy Mungus just like he destroyed the Redstone Cube? To my immense relief, Mungus emerged from the rubble.
Please, I'm a lot harder to destroy than that.
Mungus, you're alive!
Cathode Ray was so focused on angrily destroying our base that he didn't even notice me.
That's one small relief, but Cathode Ray still has the blowgun. I can't defeat him without it.
Don't worry, Zozo. I have a plan. Let's go to Ray's pad together. I've got my own score to settle. You distract him, I'll steal back the blowgun. Then you can finish him off once and for all.
Sounds like a plan to me, Mungus. On day 99, Mungus and I ventured deep into the Shattered Glacier to execute our cunning plan. We arrived outside Cathode Ray's pad and shared some final encouraging words. You can do this, Mungus. I'll keep his attention on me.
See you on the other side, buddy.
Mungus snuck into the base. When he was gone, I shot my fireballs at Cathode Ray's base. He immediately stormed outside.
Revenge, then? I figured you'd come out here after you saw what I did to your base and your worthless friends. At least now I can finish you, once and for all.
Yeah, you can do that, Ray, but you'll need to catch me first. I ran as fast as I could as Cathode Ray chased me, shooting lightning after me. I ran until I'd lost him, then made a beeline back to the base. I met Mungus outside Ray's pad. He gave me the blowgun.
Finish this, Zozo.
And with that, he fled into the forest, leaving me alone at Ray's pad. On day 100, I used my fireballs and laser beams to wreak destruction on Cathode Ray's base. I blew up walls and annihilated rooms, and with the destroyer, I smashed a huge crater into the ground. And using my own smash ability, I annihilated everything I could, sending his whole kingdom crashing down around me. I'm gonna do what you did to me, and to the Redstone Cube, and all those gorillas. I'll leave you with nothing. All the noise attracted Cathode Ray himself, who stormed in, ready to fight, wielding a massive sword.
You worthless little bidet. My perfect pad. How could you ruin it like this? I am a hero.
How many times do I need to tell you? There's nothing heroic about you. You're just a big, cruel bully who wants people to like him.
And it's clear you're not gonna like me, so I may as well destroy you, you villain.
The battle began. Cathode Ray was strong, but now I was ready to face him. I threw in javelins and blasted fireballs. I hit him with laser beams and warden shrieks, and even whacked him with the destroyer.
No, this is impossible.
For the finishing blow, I pulled out my blowgun, channeling all the power of the Redstone Cube. With one blast, the scourge of Cathode Ray was finally destroyed. The only hero here is me. On day 1, I spawned into the mountains as a diamond skeleton. Whoa, even with 10 hearts, I've got to be the most valuable bag of bones in the overworld. I wonder what kind of powers I have. But I didn't have any time to think about any potentially cool powers. A big, strong earth elemental rose out of the ground right in front of me.
You are the skeleton that has defiled this land!
Wait, what? That's impossible. I just got here.
Your feeble excuses have no power here, you bony fiend!
You should come with me before I'm forced to do anything drastic.
No offense, buddy, but I feel like you don't have my best intentions at heart, so I'm getting out of here immediately. And I made good on my promise, turning and running as fast as I could. There was only one problem. Diamond skeletons can't actually run very fast. Okay, so I know super speed isn't one of my powers. Pretty soon, the earth elemental had caught up to me, and I had to stop. I was feeling totally out of breath.
Wow, that was incredibly embarrassing, you sad little skelly. Come with me before you humiliate yourself even more.
Sure, okay, just give me a second to catch my breath. On day 2, the earth elemental ushered me back to a fortress high in the mountains, which looked like it'd be impossible to take over.
This is the Sanctum of Sanctity!
That'd be hard to say 3 times fast.
Silent skeleton! You will stand before our ruler tomorrow and be given a fair trial for your crimes.
What'll happen if I lose the trial?
Oh, that's simple. You'll be executed.
What? He didn't answer any more of my questions. Instead, he led me into the Sanctum of Sanctity and threw me into some kind of prison cell. Please, let me out! What about my human rights?
You're a skeleton! Skeletons don't have human rights!
And with that, he left and locked the door behind him. I was alone, or so I thought. There was actually a gold pig in the cell with me.
Oink oink. Hey there, bud. Name's Gary. Gary the Gold Pig. What are you in for?
Hey Gary, I'm Zozo. These guys trapped me in here for no reason. Have you been falsely imprisoned too?
Well, not exactly. I was stealing, but I wasn't hurting anyone while I was doing it.
That's better than nothing, I guess. These guys are huge jerks. We need to get out of here before we're tried and executed.
Easier said than done, my friend. These walls are impenetrable, especially when you don't have any tools.
Our conversation was interrupted when the earth elemental who'd trapped me in here came back, opened the door, and stepped inside.
Will you two be quiet? I can hardly think, let alone stand guard, while listening to your inane babbling. How about instead, you…
Without even thinking, I punched him, and that one punch completely destroyed him.
Wow, that was amazing, Zozo. You're like some kind of one-punch man.
I guess that's my first power, diamond hard punches. Let's get out of here before anyone else can find us. And that's exactly what we did. We escaped the Sanctum of Sanctity and ran off in different directions. On day 3, I continued walking through the mountains. It was an exhausting process. I may have had those powerful diamond punches, but I still had absolutely sucky walking speed. All this walking is making me hungry. I wonder if I can find any food around here. I searched until I found an apple tree, which I knocked down some apples with another powerful diamond punch. Phew, these punches really take it out of me too. I should probably only use them in emergencies, just to be safe. I picked up the wooden blocks and the apples, eating them to replenish my hunger bar. I then continued my journey. Wait, what's that rattling sound? It almost sounds like bones. That's when I turned and saw a huge imposing figure. It was a mutant skeleton, and he was even bigger than I'd imagined. Oh my gosh, you're huge!
It's nice of you to say, stranger. My name is Odokuro. It means rattling skull. What is your name?
My name is Zozo. It means, it means Zozo.
Interesting. It's rare to see a skeleton brave enough to wander around here. And I've never seen one quite as shiny as you either. You must be skilled and powerful.
Not as skilled and powerful as I'd like to be, sadly.
That, my dear Zozo, I can help with. Follow me back to my dojo.
Alrighty, Odokuro, lead the way. I followed Odokuro across the mountains, relieved to finally have a friend who could seemingly hold his own in a fight. From day 4 to day 5, we arrived at Odokuro's dojo out in the bone-dry Mojave Desert. What exactly does dojo mean, Odokuro? Is it like some kind of base?
It's where I teach people to fight. You see, I am the greatest warrior in all of the overworld, and it is my privilege to teach others to fight as well as me, so they can fight for what they believe in.
That sounds incredible, Odokuro!
Please, Zozo, call me sensei. It means teacher. And the first part of learning to fend for yourself is learning to put a roof over your head. Take this stone pickaxe and this stone sword. Make yourself a home in the desert. The harsh environment will make you hardy and strong.
Yes, sensei! My sensei Odokuro gave me the stone sword and pickaxe, and I went off on my own, traveling until I found a nice spot in the Mojave to build my base. I mined up some stone and some sand that I could use to start building myself a cool little base. It wasn't much yet, but it seemed like a cool way to begin my training. As I stopped building to look back and admire my work, another earth elemental snuck up on me and started to attack.
I knew you were an evil skeleton! You destroyed one of my fellow elementals, and now I'll destroy you!
But I was ready to fight back. With my stone sword, I was able to beat the earth elemental, gaining enough XP in the process to level up and get stronger. I was bigger, a little faster, and now had 20 hearts instead of just 10. And what's this new power I feel coursing through my fists? Without even thinking, I turned and walked into a tree, blowing it up. Whoa, I guess my new wall demolition ability can knock down walls and apparently trees as well. That's awesome. Darn, I need to replant this tree now. From day 6 to day 8, I walked around the desert, looking for new things to punch and test out my awesome strength. If this is how strong I am at the start of Sensei Otokuro's training, imagine how awesome I'll be as he trains me even more. During my wandering, I happened upon a familiar face too. It was Gary, the light-fingered gold pig I'd met inside the Sanctum of Sanctity. Hey, Gary, how's it going?
Zozo, don't sneak up on me like that. I'm on edge enough as it is after what I've been through.
Oh no, what's wrong, Gary? Are you okay?
I was attacked by this crazy mutant Enderman. If I didn't run as fast as I could, he would have destroyed me. You've got to be careful, Zozo. There are some real dangerous people out there.
I know exactly what you mean. That's why I'm training with Sensei Otakuro, so I can get strong enough to fight off bad guys like that.
Sensei Otakuro? Why does that name sound so familiar? Oh well, maybe I'll remember it later when I'm less stressed.
And with that, Gary went on his way. Unsettled by the knowledge of how many dangerous creatures are out there, I returned to my sensei's base, ready for his next lesson. Climbing up the hanging ladders, I found him at the top of the dojo in his living quarters.
You've done well against the Earth Elementals, Zozo, but to improve, you must face stronger opponents. There is a mutated bee out in the mangrove swamp, a formidable foe for someone of your strength. Go forth and destroy him, and see your powers grow.
From day 9 to day 10, I followed Sensei Otokuro's instructions and went out to the mangrove swamp, seeking to meet with and battle this mutated bee. He sounds like a tough customer, but I believe I'm ready to take him on. It didn't take me long to find him. His bright yellow and black stood out against the colors of the swamp.
Buzz off, kid. I don't want to fight anyone. I left my fighting days behind me long ago. I hurt too many people. That's not who I am anymore.
If you were a villain once, you're a villain now, mutated bee. Sensei Otakuro demands that I fight you.
Otakuro? I haven't heard that name in years. Well, kid, if you want to fight, I'll give you the fight of your life.
The mutated bee fought me, and he was every bit as tough as Sensei Otakuro had said. I did manage to defeat him in the end, but by then, I barely had any hearts left. I can't rush my training. If I do, I think I'm really gonna get hurt. On my way out of the swamp, I ran into none other than Gary the Gold Pig.
Oh hey, Zozo, you're not looking so hot, buddy. Maybe take this health potion. I stole it from some guy.
I drank the health potion Gary gave me and breathed a sigh of relief as my health replenished itself. Thanks, Gary, you're a lifesaver. Sensei Otakuro will be pleased to see that I'm doing okay.
There's that name again. Gosh, where did I hear it? Guess I'll let you know if it comes back to me.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to the dojo of Sensei Otakuro, eager to tell him about how well I'd done in the battle with the mutated bee.
Your power grows, Zozo, but you still have much to learn. That being said, I see the potential for true strength in you, but a true warrior feels no fear. Go first into the darkness to make fear your ally. Then return to the mangrove swamp, find the lethal swamp pig clan, and destroy every last one of them.
Destroy a whole clan? Isn't that a little harsh, Sensei?
Never, ever question my teaching, Zozo. Perform the task. Your sensei wills it.
Feeling doubtful, but knowing that my sensei must know best, I found the darkest darkness I could find, a mining cave. I explored the dark, worrying about what could lurk behind every corner. However, while down there in the dark, I discovered something awesome. A dusty old chest containing a few pieces of iron armor, an iron sword, and an iron pickaxe. The sensei really is always right. I equipped the sword and the armor pieces, then left the cave. But just as I was about to exit, I was stopped in my tracks by another earth elemental.
You won't escape this time, you skeleton fiend!
I'm really getting tired of you guys. The fight didn't last long. With my new power and new iron sword, I defeated him in no time. From day 13 to day 15, following Sensei Otakuro's instructions, I went back to the mangrove swamp and searched through until I found a small settlement full of pigs. This must be the Swamp Pig clan. They don't look like a gang of lethal warriors, they just look like peaceful little pigs. What's going on? I decided to investigate further, venturing into the settlement and approaching the largest of the swamp pigs. Excuse me, sir, but are you the head of the legendary swamp pig warrior clan? That just made him laugh.
Warrior clan? We're a clan of peaceful farmers, living off the fat of the land. We don't know the first thing about fighting. I have no idea where you got that from.
Then No, this isn't right. I'm sorry for bothering you, Mr. Swamp Pig. Confused and worried, all I could do was leave the settlement as quickly as I could, making a beeline back to the Mojave Desert. Sensei Otokuro has some explaining to do. From day 16 to day 19, I returned to Sensei Otokuro's base and told him everything that had happened. He was furious with me.
You dare go against my orders after I explicitly told you not to question me?
But Sensei, they weren't warriors.
I am no longer your sensei. Be gone from the dojo, Zozo. I cannot teach someone who doesn't respect and honor my judgment.
I was devastated, but I had no choice but to leave. I guess that I just wasn't cut out to be an awesome warrior in the end. I might have just been doomed to be a sad, slow diamond skeleton forever. When I got back to my base, Gary was waiting for me.
Zozo! I remember where I heard that name before, Sensei Otokuro.
He's not even my sensei anymore, Gary. There's no point.
But it was the mutant Enderman. When he attacked me, he said, Sensei Otokuro will be so pleased. He must have been on his orders.
Wait, Otokuro has other students, and they're out there attacking people? Oh no, I need to go back to the mangrove swamp. I ran back to the Swamp Pig Clan settlement as quickly as I could, but it was already too late. Otokuro was there, and he'd already destroyed all of them. You monster!
It's better to be a monster than a weakling, Zozo. My best students understand this. You are but a naive little fool.
What? It's foolish to not want to attack innocents?
There are no innocents, Zozo. Only practice. I'll give you one chance to decide. Are you with me or against me?
I could never be with you or any of your horrible students. I pulled out my iron sword and ran towards him to attack, but he knocked me out cold in a single strike. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up, dazed and aching, in the ruins of the Swamp Pig settlement. Otokuro hadn't left a single survivor. That monster! I feel so terrible for ever helping him. I can't believe all his students have been terrorizing the overworld, and I was almost one of them. As I was making my way through the swamps, I saw Gary the gold pig emerging from the distance and trotting towards me.
Zozo, thank goodness you're alive. I had no idea you were up against such terrifying enemies. The world is even scarier than I thought.
But it doesn't have to be, Gary. Come back to my base with me. I'll build you a room, and we'll start working on a battle plan to take down these evildoers once and for all.
You know what? You have a point, Zozo. I've spent my whole life stealing from people. Now, I want to do something right. Let's go, buddy.
I went back to my base in the Mojave Desert with Gary and built a new building for him to live in. It felt good to finally be allied with someone whose worst crime was stealing potions and not destroying whole clans of innocents for fun. From day 23 to day 26, I decided to investigate the mountain some more and see if I could track down any of Sensei Otokuro's other sadistic students. If they were out here destroying settlements in the overworld, then they needed to be stopped at once. While I was exploring, it didn't take me long to overhear a cry for help from a passing mushroom summoner.
Please, spare me, kind skeleton! There's a mutant zombie right behind me! Destroy it, I beseech you!
I don't know what a beseech is, but you'd better get behind me! Sure enough, there was a vile, brainless mutant zombie coming after the poor summoner. I leapt in to defend the innocent mushroom summoner with a swing of my sword, but the shuffling undead was far stronger than I'd ever expected. The mutant zombie was tough, and he got a few powerful hits on me. I swung back with my diamond skeleton punches, and while it took a few more than usual, I had soon knocked his health right down. You can come back out now.
Oh, thank you. Please help yourself to this. It's the latest of my horticultural findings. A fungus imbued with magical properties.
Thanks. I ate the mushroom and could suddenly feel myself getting stronger. I now had 50 whole hearts. I could shoot energy blasts from my hands. Wow, now this'll be fun, guy. From day 27 to day 31, I roamed the mountains some more. The encounter with the mutant zombie was playing on my mind. Where had that horrid undead creature come from? Was it connected to my nefarious former sensei in some way? I got distracted by a flock of sheep that looked like they'd lost their shepherd, or that perhaps something bad had happened to them. Hey there, little guys. It's not safe for you all to be up here on the mountainside. You better come back to my base where you'll be safe. If we come across your owner, I'm sure he'll be glad I got you guys to safety. So I headed back to my base and got to work settling up a pen for the sheep. Once I was done, Gary was excited to show me something.
Come check it out, Zozo. I built us a brand new storage room. Now we've got somewhere to keep all our loot. Oops, old habits. All the equipment we can use to bring the fight to Sensei Odokuro.
Speaking of Odokuro, within his dojo in the Mojave Desert, my former teacher was conferring with one of his deadliest students.
Sensei, I have followed your teachings and laid waste to another settlement. Their souls are now forever cursed to have fallen at my hand. That will make them perfect candidates to join the ranks of your undead army. Good work, apprentice. You've been more loyal than that cowardly skeleton, and I have a new task for you. Bring me the diamond skull of Zozo!
From day 32 to day 35, I decided to backtrack to the fortress high in the mountains. I had realized that those earth elementals who had captured me might have only done so because they thought I was working for Sensei Odokuro. After all, one had called me evil when he saw I was carrying out Odokuro's commands, but I figured I would need allies. Me and my gold pig pal weren't going to be able to take him down alone.
Look over there! It's the diamond skeleton working with Odokuro! Get him!
Whoa, hold on guys, I'm not here to fight. It was too late. An earth elemental was coming straight towards me. We clashed swords. I had to hold off from using my diamond hard punches and energy blasts. I needed to convince them that I meant no harm. Listen to me, I'm not following Odokuro's teachings anymore. He's a barbaric, irredeemable monster.
What took you so long to realize?
Don't be mean, I was tricked.
Then you should talk with our boss.
The earth elementals brought me before their leader, a wise old illusioner.
You have renounced Odokuro's vile ways. Good. Then perhaps you'll be the one to put a stop to his reign of terror.
I'll take him down. He's hurting innocent people, and he's got to be stopped.
I must convene with my earth elementals. I can provide you with the means to stop Odokuro, but first, we must decide if you are trustworthy. Now go!
From day 36 to day 39, I didn't want to waste any time waiting on the illusionist's decision. I needed to get stronger in the meantime. I decided it was time to upgrade my armor, so I went searching the mines for the remaining pieces to complete the set. And boy oh boy, I didn't just find what I was looking for, but struck a motherload of diamonds too! It was almost like being a diamond skeleton, up to draw me to where they were hidden underground. I could sense them without even realizing it. After I had gathered up the diamonds, ready to craft some neat stuff with them later, Gary excitedly called me back to base.
Check it out, Zozo. Look what I stole. Acquired while you were gone.
It was a special gong of weakening. After striking it, it weakens all enemies around me for 7 seconds. But before I had a chance to try it out, an armored mountaineer approached my base.
You're Zozo, right? I'm a messenger. I've been sent by the illusioner. He's ready to speak with you now and request your presence back at the Earth Elemental Fortress.
From day 40 to day 43, I made the long trek back to where I'd last met the illusioner. But as I approached the fortress, I immediately noticed something was wrong.
The diamond skeleton was here. Tell me what you told him, or suffer in the name of Sensei Odokuro.
It was the mutant Enderman. It must have been one of Odokuro's other students. He was turning the place upside down, battling with the Earth Elementals as they desperately tried to defend the fortress against his attacks. But his training, he'd clearly been following Sensei Odokuro's brutal teachings, and they were no match for the mutant Enderman. I ran over to the illusioner as quickly as I could. Illusioner, quick! We need to do something!
Zozo, no! Drawing you out is what Odokuro wants. My elementals will die before they give away your location. But we must flee before Odokuro's student realizes you're here.
From day 44 to day 49, I hurriedly escorted the illusioner back to the safety of my base. He seemed upset about the attack on his fortress, but I didn't really know what to say to comfort him. Once we'd made it back, he sat me down to reveal his decision.
I have opted to trust you with this, Zozo. I believe your remorse for serving Odokuro to be genuine. I know all too well how deceptive he can be, which is why I will impart to you this knowledge. There is a way we can stop him, but it requires a weapon known only as the Destroyer, and to rebuild it will be no easy task. I can guide you through the first steps, but to complete it requires secrets I do not possess.
Well, where can I find the rest of the steps to build the Destroyer?
Patience. For now, here's how to get started.
I followed the illusioner's instructions written on the blueprint to the letter, making sure I had done everything I could right now to make a start on the destroyer. It was kinda nice having him help me along, almost like having a new sensei who wasn't as evil as Sensei Odokuro. Once I'd done all I could, that was when the illusioner told me about an ancient book of secrets that contained instructions for finishing the destroyer. It was lost somewhere in the mangrove swamp, so I began to make my way over there as fast as my slow skeleton legs would carry me. From day 50 to day 53, I searched high and low in the stinky mangrove swamp for anywhere that might be housing the Book of Secrets. I was expecting to find an old temple or an abandoned cave, but there was nothing of the sort anywhere around. Eventually, I had to change up my approach. I didn't know where to look, but one of the locals might. I struck up a conversation with the first person I met, a royal guard.
Book of Secrets? Sorry, geezer, no clue. Nobody's seen it in a dog's age. Been lost in the swamp.
Great, that's super helpful. I don't suppose anyone knows what's written in it or how to rebuild the destroyer to stop Sensei Odokuro?
Odokuro? Blimey, mate, he's a tough customer. You know he once commanded an army of mutant undead?
He did? That's horrible.
Yeah, it was. Odokuro believed in being the strongest bloke around, and he trained himself up a nasty gang of blighters. He never wanted them to be tougher than he was, so he kept some stuff to himself. Then if any of his pupils ever croaked, he'd use necromancy to bring them back and make them fight for him as undead zombies. But eventually, he crossed the wrong fella. Some real brainbox who built a device that would destroy Odokuro. That's why it's called the Destroyer, see?
Wow, I never would have guessed that.
Well, Odokuro got wind of what was being made to defy him and tried to wreck him. But it blew up in his face and took out a lot of his undead army. Rumor has it, he's been trying to build his forces back up ever since.
I still had no clue where the Book of Secrets was hidden. I didn't know the mangrove swamp well enough to find it. And without the book, I couldn't complete the destroyer just yet. So instead, I headed back to base. From day 54 to day 57, I was making my way back to my base, taking a longer detour through the mountains, just in case any more of Sensei Odokuro's students were causing trouble nearby. Little did I realize, one of them was much closer than I'd anticipated. Suddenly, the mutant Enderman burst out of the shadows and attacked me, wielding all the fury and fear of Odokuro's twisted teachings.
There you are, the one who ran away! At last, I shall defeat you and bring that diamond skull of yours to my sensei as a trophy!
I had no choice but to fight back, but I couldn't land even a single energy blast on the evil Enderman. He would just teleport out of the way, and each blast would miss. Then he started using his special abilities, like picking up blocks, throwing them at me, and cloning himself. I couldn't risk being captured and brought back to Sensei Odokuro, or worse. So, I had to dash. I luckily made my escape. Meanwhile, within his lair, Sensei Odokuro was summoning the latest addition to his undead army.
By my hand, I command these ancient bones to rise, return to the land of the living, and follow my teachings, mighty skeleton vanguard!
From day 58 to day 62, battered and exhausted, I was relieved to finally make it back to the safety of my base. After a brief nap to regain my strength, Gary, my gold pig pal, was eager to show off his latest, definitely not stolen, project.
Hey, Zozo! Check it out, a brand new furnace for us. Now we can really turn up the heat on old Okuro. Get it?
Yeah, I got it, Gary. Great job. The base was looking great now, but I was concerned after facing the mutant Enderman and barely making it away alive. We needed somewhere well defended, so I gathered up lots of sandstone to build a bunker out of it, although it was tricky because the sand kept falling on my head. I eventually gathered enough and started building the bunker. Speaking of defense, I thought it was about time I defended myself a little better too. My old iron armor had done the trick until now, but it was useless against Sensei Odokuro's stronger students. So I headed into the mines and let my diamond skeleton senses guide me to more diamonds. I had plenty in my inventory now, enough to craft a new diamond sword and a matching pickaxe, plus a full set of diamond armor. Since Odokuro was after my skull, I thought protecting it was my best option. And there is nothing more stylish than a diamond skeleton in full diamond armor. From day 63 to day 66, I spoke with the illusioner about how I hadn't been able to find the Book of Secrets.
Most troubling news. I think I shall have to accompany you. I may know where we can look.
So I followed his lead, and we ended up at the edge of an area I'd never seen before, the Nether Wastes. What the heck? I could have sworn this place wasn't here before.
It has always been here, but not all have the means to see. These wastes are shrouded by a complex illusion. But you can lift it, right? I can, but it will take time. Casting illusions is my specialty. Removing them is much harder, especially when they have been cast by another.
So, we can't get there?
I will attempt to break the illusion, and then we should be able to access the nether wastes.
Well, okay. In the meantime, I guess I'll just wait.
Patience, Zozo. I will need you at my side to defend me while I break the illusion. Nether wastes may not be the only thing being hidden.
From day 67 to day 70, the illusioner was hard at work, lifting the illusion that was stopping us from getting to the nether waste. But something seemed to be bothering him while he was working.
Zozo, I think there is something wrong. I sense a foul presence afoot in the mountains. One of Odokuro's undead, but far more powerful than his zombies.
You stay here. I'll go and take care of whatever it is. I made my way towards the mountains, and it didn't take long for me to come across what the problem was. It was the skeleton vanguard. After losing my last tangle with one of Sensei Odokuro's minions, I wasn't feeling confident I could best this creature. But perhaps there was a way I could reason with it.
Old bones, old bones.
Say, I know you're a little confused right now. I guess that must happen when you're brought back from the dead. But the one who brought you back, he just wants to use you. Believe me, he did it to me too. But us skeletons need to stick together.
New bones, new bones.
The skeleton vanguard lunged at me, disoriented. I had to hold back my punches and energy blasts. There was still a chance I could convince him to abandon Odokuro. If only I could get him to hold still. Wait, maybe he will respond to the gong. I struck it as hard as I could, and the skeleton vanguard was stunned, and it gave me a chance to talk to him. Listen, I don't want to hurt you. Odokuro might have brought you back, but to him, you're just an undead soldier. I promise if you help me, we can take that monster down and set you free. Then your old bones can rest.
Old bones, old bones.
Slowly, the skeleton vanguard seemed to calm down. I had done it! He was now on our side! From day 71 to day 74, I was heading back to the base with the skeleton vanguard, only to see something terrible as I approached. The mutant enderman had found my hideout and was ransacking it. I hadn't even been able to finish the defensive bunker, and now Odokuro's star student of slaughter was destroying huge portions of my home. I tried to use my Gong of Weakening to stop him, but instead, he attacked me and stole it.
Thanks for the gong, loser.
I retreated and hid in a part of the base that was still intact, and before long, the mutant endermen seemed to get bored and leave. I was feeling awful, worried that I'd never be able to beat the mean mutant enderman. If I couldn't stop one of his weaker students, then I had no chance of stopping Sensei Odokuro.
Zozo, buddy, you still in there? You can come out now.
Gary told me that he and the skeleton vanguard had been busy rebuilding the base while I'd been feeling sad. They had made an effort to refortify the place against any future attacks, and they'd done it to try and cheer me up. I had to admit, it made me feel a little better. A little did I know, Sensei Odokuro was almost finished working on his undead army.
I have almost amassed my forces once more, and once my prized pupil discovers the location of the diamond skeleton's hideout, soon we will march. My zombies and I will subjugate the overworld!
From day 75 to day 78, the illusioner returned to the base. He approached me to talk about how clearing the illusion had gone.
Whoever cast that illusion over the nether waste was certainly remarkably powerful.
You think it could have been Odokuro?
No, he only seeks the power to destroy, not to conceal. Perhaps the original architect of the destroyer was responsible. He might have cast the illusion to keep his book of secrets hidden.
Were you able to clear it?
Mostly, but you should be able to reach the nether waste and find the book.
First things first though, I want my Gong of Weakening back. I set off to hunt down the mutant enderman. I wasn't going to let him get away with my stuff, and if I could take him down, then I could prove to myself that I was strong enough to stop Odokuro too. From day 79 to day 84, I spotted the mutant enderman in the Mojave Desert and immediately launched an energy blast. With his back to me, he didn't see it coming and couldn't teleport out of the way. Caught off guard, I landed a hit, but it only angered him.
You won't make me look weak in front of my sensei!
He leapt at me, and we fought. Without my Gong of Weakening, it was hard to gain an advantage over the enderman. Just when I thought I was about to land a strike with my sword, or a powerful diamond punch, he'd zip out of the way, and I'd miss. Suddenly, he threw blocks back at me and knocked me far back with a powerful attack. Then, a sudden surge of power overtook me. I got way bigger than before, and even had 100 hearts. Catching both myself and the mutant Enderman by surprise, I suddenly fired a new special laser attack. The beam struck him right in the center, and he couldn't get out of the way quick enough. With a few more hits to finish him off, Sensei Otokuro's right-hand Enderman was defeated! I grabbed my Gong of Weakening, glad to finally have it back, and the mutant Enderman had also dropped something, a special key. Better hang on to this, it might come in handy later. From day 85 to day 89, I made my triumphant way back to base. To my surprise, Gary had gone out of his way to finish up working on the defensive bunker.
Thought we could get the last of it done. Now we'll be safe if there's any more trouble.
Well, the mutant Enderman won't be coming back here anytime soon.
That's great news, Zozo.
Now that I had my Gong of Weakening back, I decided to also head back to the Nether Wastes. Sure enough, the illusion blocking the area was now gone, and I searched for the Book of Secrets. Sure enough, there it was, waiting for me at an altar. But so were a horde of mutant creepers. Using my weapons, I was able to defeat the diabolical monsters, and then I was free to grab the Book of Secrets. Now I had the last thing I needed to complete the destroyer and put a stop to Sensei Otokuro's schemes. From day 90 to day 94, using the Book of Secrets, I started making the reinforced handles and the warped fungus which gives the Iron Destroyer that extra power. When holding it in hand, I felt its power flowing through me. At long last, I'm strong enough to take on my old sensei and right the wrongs I helped him create. But on my way out of the Nether Wastes, I saw my oldest enemy standing right in front of me. It was my former sensei, Otokuro.
Hello there, former student. It's been too long since we've seen one another, skull to skull.
That's because your other students have been trying to take my skull.
You shouldn't take such a thing personally, Zozo. There are bumps on the road for every journey of training. They're there to test our strength. I've seen the way you fight, how you've bested all my other students. You have impressed me, Zozo. Why not resume your teaching with me? You can reach levels of strength you've never even imagined.
I'll never be your student, ever again, and I don't need anything you could teach me. I'm powerful enough to beat you already.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Before I could move, Otokuro fired a plasma blast at me, and that blast paralyzed me. I was frozen in place, and while I was unable to move, Otokuro approached and stole the destroyer from me.
Foolish decision, Zozo. I'll let you live this time, just so you can languish in your shame. But next time I see you, rest assured, I will destroy you completely.
And with that, he ran back into the depths of the Nether. From day 95 to day 97, I was at first alone in the Nether Wastes. I had to summon up all my willpower to overcome the paralyzing spell. As soon as I left the Nether Wastes for the mountains. I needed to team up with the Illusioner and his elementals as quickly as I could. However, when I arrived, the fortress was in ruins, and the elementals were all gone. Without the destroyer out there, Otokuro felt comfortable unleashing his full power. There was no one who could stop him. The only survivor was the Illusioner, and even he was on the edge of his demise.
Zozo, it's too late for me. Don't waste your time. Get the destroyer back, and finally surpass your old sensei for the good of the overworld.
The Illusioner was gone. Feeling terrible, I set off towards my base. On day 98, I arrived back at my base, only to find it decimated, just like the fortress in the mountains. Only Gary the Gold Pig was still alive.
Zozo, that monster! He came here and destroyed everything. He even destroyed the skeleton vanguard. Maybe a thief, but that bony buddy stole my heart. We can't let him get away with this.
We can't stop him, Gary. He has the destroyer, and the destroyer is the only weapon that can destroy him. Hence the name.
Zozo, take it from the expert. You can get it back from him. You just need to go to his dojo and steal it.
Wow, you're right, Gary. All these different people I've learned from all this time, and I didn't even think to learn from you. On day 99, I arrived at my old sensei's dojo, but I couldn't exactly walk in. If I was going to steal that destroyer, I needed to use the element of surprise. I quietly searched around the dojo until on the second floor, I found a pedestal with a keyhole in the middle. Wait, my special key. This must be what it unlocks. I turned the key, and in the middle of the dojo, a secret floor dropped down into the basement, but it was locked. I snuck in. Otokuro had no idea I was in there. Now I just need to get the destroyer back. I turned and saw Otokuro standing right there, but with his back turned to me. This was my chance. I snuck up behind him, and using techniques I'd learned from Gary, I stole back the destroyer. Odokuro turned to me with shock.
Zozo, what have you done?
I've leveled the playing field, Sensei! On day 100, I was facing off against the Sensei, ready for the final battle.
You were always such a disappointment, Zozo. Your skills showed such great promise, but you could never follow orders. How can you expect to learn from me now?
There's nothing I want to learn from you. I'm no longer the student, Odokuro. Now, I'm the master. I knew that the longer I fought him, the more chance he'd have to turn the tables. He shot his plasma blasts, but they no longer had the same effect as before. I knew I needed to end this quickly, once and for all. I summoned all my power into one final strike with the destroyer. I ran towards him, putting every ounce of my power into the strike. Boom! Odokuro exploded into bones. The evil had finally been defeated, and the student truly had become the master.